I don't want to wait until I finish the degree for me to pursue the things I want to pursue.
Oh yeah.
I want to use the degree and do the things I want to do while I'm doing the degree. And the degree is allowing me to go overseas, explore cultures, explore things, fascinate my brain, confuse my brain, whatever. I just thought of a story. I was almost stabbed. I was almost stabbed. I was coming back to school, right? So in the phone. So to those of us, there's a parky and there's like a bridge that connects to Mandalay. Yeah. So I'm coming there and the approach, I'm going, and then it's all chica. I start saying Asekai. And then there was this guy, Ozayo, behind me.
Yeah, but like, what's the most fascinating thing you experienced in another country?
It's how they express their feelings.
Okay.
That's why I'm so big on language. I'm learning French, like je peux parler français. So it's how is new language.
No, I'm going to skip a class French. What right? Go ahead. Take his course. Something in French and then we translate it in.
So if I say like je peux parler français, it just means I can speak French. Je peux parler français. So
you can test. Of which that you can test layer is like I think it's an option. But do you want to continue with mainstream or you want to extend your degree? How explain in like the first test in Johnny and what happened after?
Rough. The first thing is you have to adjust to, the fact that you are now being constantly taught in English.
Okay.
And you're just like, what?
The option yoba after undergrad to ambio sevenza izangifiki.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
No. and I think, because this is very important, I think.
Yeah.
Ekaya, as I was saying, we were all involved in the generation of human. Okay. So there was never an expectation Ekaya form about okay, Sive.
Yeah.
Like if they wanted Mali, I'll probably guys like if because that's how we all working into it,
But okay, the option still we failed.
Yes.
Or still nalapo it was not even an option. Like when you've made up your idea, you made up your mind, but no man, you wanna pursue this up until PhD, then you have academia. Like what's going through your mind? Let's say you are finishing up your honors.
A lot of things happened during honors.
Yeah.
That I think they affected how I wanted to look at things, I think. So first of all, I would say as someone who did BSc, guys, it's not easy to get jobs.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, it depends on which BSc you did, because I know
that's also true.
I know people who did catalysts that sort of like came in through where like things that I went through. So things like being offered an opportunity to go on a cruise.
Okay.
So I went to Antarctica. So
Hello everyone, welcome back to Driving Conversations. Namhlanje it's a familiar face now because ubuke waza episode. I think it was when we were introducing your vote most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Sive or Xokashe, which is also a friend. I think now I'm just bringing in friends Zam. I'm just bringing in friends Zam, and we're just having a nice time. And then, before Siekuwe, on the other side we have Umate, and then Ghost Girl, like the original. But it's not like any it goes girl. Like, I can't be going. Like it's always been it goes girl. Now then Imen of the hour now. Sive Xokashe unjani?
I'm good, fam. I'm very, 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 very good.
Ingathi uyacheka nje la.
No. I'm very good. Njani wena mfethu?
Hayi, right man. No complaints. Then my day, any words ofuna uthetha ngazo, like unjani both now sibuze kanjani?
Oh, I'm feeling good. On the last or recent or previous episode, I was feeling sick, but it was an amazing episode. The episode that we shot with Mr. Young Captain, But I'm feeling good though.
Okay. Then when I Ghost Girl.
I'm good, as always. I'm excited for the episode ka Sive, because kudala simfuna ukusebenzela.
Overdue.
Yeah.
It's been long overdue, yeah.
Yeah, today's the day.
We're here, guys. We're here.
So Sive man, as Babe said, it's been long overdue episode yako, and I think you're one of the few people over here is not episode man, the podcast even before Ibecon.
True.
Now, and then also,
Obviously.
Of course. You know. Come on, boss lady.
So you've been supporting us background. I think each and every time you post the episode, you're one of the few people you are one of the first who view and then also comment, and then you share your critics and you also give us the flowers positing in our corner. So we really appreciate it.
Basically, I'm part of the production team, guys. Behind the scenes.
So no, it's all about when being the producer. Like so we introduce to the people, like who is Sive ukulelepi and Sive wenzani. But so color like epic, if you can take us back over Sive ukulelepi, and then wafunda primary school, then we can go to the high school, the university, then until now.
Man,
it's our long, but we'll try and keep it short.
I mean, typical like village boy. Grew up originally from Englobo, Marcelini, you know. Shout out to Englobo. I did. I would say the first or primary so from grade R until grade 7, I think. I grew up there. You know, typical struggles. I want to talk about struggles, but you know, typical struggles that say as Lalini, you know, you wake up, there are other like priorities you have to go through even before you can actually like worry about going to school. For your friends, I think there was that guy who came up
one day. It's the same struggle.
I would say it's a typical, literally, if there's, let's say, for instance, a day whereby you know, like you have to wake up like around 5, you have to go there and, you know, do the stuff. Iskolos are only after ubuile, you know, you can go there like around 9 or 10. Like by as of deep namhlanje, so it's normal, you understand? Zofika when you know, you just continue as normal. I mean, it was not as if like we had a lot in terms of like the resources, you know, it's typical struggle.
That's thank you.
I was saying off since we had grade 4 or grade 5, they were in the same like literally classroom. Literally E1, if you can make this like very body, half of this would be used for one class, half of that would be used for any class. And I mean, obviously, when you sort of like look into that, you know, retrospectively, like it was like a normal thing, you know. It's like, this is the situation that we are funda, and then hopefully you can make something of yourself mean, again, it's not something you think about, but if obviously I have to like look back into that, yeah, that's sort of how I would paint, you know, my early years in terms of like primary school and stuff.
Yeah. And njengoba usitsho mos now, but since ukhule khona, it was not a struggle because you didn't know better.
Yeah, literally.
Like you grew up pana and into yoba like iclasses yi-2 be like side by side. Yabo sohlulwe nje lidonga and you can pick through any class.
You know,
iba into enorm.
It's normal. Because also another thing is we didn't have we didn't have like a TV or anything. Yeah. So it's not like I had like a reference to sort of like see, okay, this is how, you know, things should be in terms of like standard and stuff. But yeah.
Okay. Then any like apart from, let's say, you going to school and then struggles, like when Zandoni, like let's say for fun. Like we are schooling and then we are work, or was it like only about the household chores, the car only like then, but like what is it that you do for fun?
Man, outside of like, because now, okay, so you would come back from school and say maybe like around 3. Oh yeah, the first thing you'd have to do your commands. Oh yeah. We'd have Yumtonjeni, you know, your commands. You'll probably come back around, say, because that's another thing. It was like a very like walking distance.
Sure.
I don't have like what's this? In terms of like
fun activity.
No. Like I'm trying to sort of like see how long it could have been. It's probably more than 30 minutes, man, to go there and come back.
Yeah.
So you'd find that if like on that particular day, Apo Kona, let's say we have to go to your commands, you come back maybe like around 4. So it's only like a small window whereby you can actually say, okay, now you can go your Dala like with the other kids from Estradwini. Well, not Estradwini because we didn't have streets in there, but you know, get what I mean. Yeah. Also you have to worry about, okay, if you go you know, okay, you have to bring back you know, the livestock and stuff. It's like Ujala was sort of like a luxury, if I can put it like that. Like, yeah.
But maybe if money chance you're like, oh, you're cokelelo and bigel and that's cover my jail. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, actually.
Yeah.
But I think also, so I mean, obviously as time went by, I would say maybe like things changed from a point of, okay, now I didn't have to like worry about, say for instance, maybe like we didn't have like in Goma. So then that way I had time to actually go into Dotland. And also
by
we played like your typical, what are these games, man? Your shit, I can't. We didn't have sport. I can't tell you baller because I think I think we had like 10 houses or something.
10?
Yeah, like Elalinyam. So if I wanted to like play like with people I'm from a school, I would have to walk like a distance to actually go and play from the baller. But in terms of like playing, we would have to play with
siblings
and other people from say like Rolani here, you know where I'm at, where I grew up. Yeah, it was more like group kind of games. I just forgot the names, but it was just Bola, hide and seek.
Then kwisikolo, like yeah, most because student esinjani, like like usive, if let's say besinobuza utitshala wakho wase Ngcobo ebenginothi usive student esinjani.
I'm trying to think now, not think, but like when you have to write those like motivational letters, when you have to try and write let's say you're applying for like a scholarship or a conference. I think I know I'm jumping too forward here, but like when you have to apply for something and then you have to like say write about your upbringing. One of the things I've realized when I grew up was that, because I grew up with umakhulu, you know, my mom was a pickup,
Okay.
so you know, yeah, panda, so I was staying with umakhulu, so one of the luckiest things is that she didn't force us to do things we didn't want to do, so there was no sort of thing of like or
Okay.
makwenze this kind of thing. Like I had to like sort of view life from my own lenses.
Yeah.
Which I think when it translates to sort of like how I became as a student, it was helpful in the sense that I could see what was happening. I would try to come up with sort of like, okay, why certain things are like this or like that.
Yeah.
Which I think in a way helped in me becoming like a very like curious student.
Okay.
Which I think eventually translated to a type of student whereby Tishala, if you were to ask Tishala, could I know like he was a
Good
he was a
student.
very good student, obedient, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh. So the boys were class clowns, JP's guy.
Nah.
We are the class clowns. Uyabonakala man, like uyabonakala. And abantu classini bane roles zabo now. So now you held your own role or idlala. Now then, oh yeah. Ngobo ufunde up until which grade?
Grade 7. Yeah, grade 7.
Come on, let's call. Don't tell me you'll leave.
I still remember our principal.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But like, if they came to this school, is one, then
okay, well, it's okay. Now it came like Vuizana. It was Vuizana because I think that's where I went. That was the name of
primary school. Okay,
So yeah, it was Vuizana.
primary school.
Senior secondary school.
Oh yeah.
That's how they do the things because you.
JSS.
I think it was JSS.
Yeah, which
Yeah, thank you.
not senior.
It was JSS.
I was my senior.
PO Box 5050. Yeah, it was JSS. Yeah, up to grade 7.
Then high school uyenzela.
Oh yeah, I think that's when my mom had to make like a really tough decision, which is what like she can't, you know, envision a future where I'll be in the same school as she was in. So I had to then go pick up to do my high school year. So it was so in terms of the transition, I'd say it was a tough one because as the eldest grandchildren at the time, it meant I had to leave Makolo behind. And part of that, now that I'm thinking about it, I was responsible for Dolopin to do the groceries.
Yeah.
I was the one who was cross-checking the documents, you know, all those kind of things.
Like Umakulu relied on you.
Literally. And I think it only hit me like when I was like, oh damn. Because she actually, like when my mom like sort of broke the news, like she literally cried.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. I guess also tells you like what kind of a kid I was.
Then like it gap between when I as the oldest November so like like the responsibility of what you were busy doing.
Yeah.
It was a year.
Yeah, because I'm 97.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
And then the other ones, 2000 and 2001. 96. That's how old I am. But yeah, it was not a massive gap. But also I think, well, I guess it also tells you how much not so proactive the other ones were. Because if it was that, then she wouldn't have like felt the how she felt in terms of like, okay, yeah, I'm just Sive, you know.
But like omakhulu bayabathanda abazukulwana babo.
Yeah, man.
Yabo. Cause nyani ke omakhulu like umamakho yabo ufumanise kubana like abakhuli nabantwana babo because bayasebenza yabo. Then ke ngoku umntana xa esemncinci phaa kweza early years uye akhule nomakhulu yabo. So maybe nomakhulu naye like ebe-experience ukukhulisa umntana omncinci through wena yabo, through lo group leyo of abazukulwana bakhe yabo. And ke ngoku iba yiloo bond ibankulu. That's why fumanisa uba like oomakhulu notamkhulu bayathandwa kakhulu ngabazukulwana babo and nabo bayabathanda nje, vice versa. And lo bond leyo iba too much, not too much.
Actually making you realize how much, okay, anyway.
But speaking of which, no one talks about that. Into yoba lento buyithetha busithi vuka check documents usenze groceries.
Yeah.
Do you know that my cousin, just before my grandmother passed, he's been doing that for like 26 years.
Yeah.
Like all sense alone.
Yeah.
So I think i-routine yapha okanye i-rhythm yapha as a young girl or as a young boy, once you become matured, ukwazi ukubhala, ukwazi ufunda, you take care of your SMSs, texts. Yonke le umakhulu asupposed uba uyayenza, you take care of that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think about it.
But for me, like I get Mama where she was coming from. The fact that you said what Wana, she can't imagine you Ufunda, like from the school she she went to. So I love her for that, because she put your future first more than like anything. So like no, Sive like deserves better. Sive cannot be like where I am or in a similar position. Well, I'm not sure about Whoopi, but like I low-key get why she would make that decision to bring you up a gap to do your high school, because I remember learning even from my side, also learning like when you talk about Kapa has better opportunities,
very true.
School system, like everything, man. Like you have made it in life. Like from says you're like, yeah, no, you've made it. So I love your mom for that.
I love until you feel.
I love until you
feel. And you're like, okay.
It's struggles is real.
So now you actually see, I thought I was.
Then think Josie is the ish now. Josie. But yeah. Wasuka from Eastern Cape, pakisha impahla zonke. Waza kwi-promised land, of which i-Cape Town. Yabo. Ufike laphi ungabi Cape Town?
I think Lower Crossroads, which is the ghettos in the current climate and situation.
Is it those days too?
But yeah, that's where I had a corner. And I went to Pandulwazi High School. Shout out to boy gang. I went to Pandulwazi. That's where I did my
high school.
Yeah.
Then okay, it transition from Eastern Cape to Ab. Maybe Mascale in general, including the Ndotwan school. Now, because the one of man say, but Eastern Cape, then I figure up a young man say, it's a different environment when it comes to his school, in almost young age. So for when I even joined the transition there.
Looking back to it, it was okay. Maybe I should mention that during what they call summer breaks. So like
summer breaks.
Summer breaks.
Summer breaks.
It's like good December. Like
okay.
The long
it is America. I don't do summer breaks.
We're trying to get more people. So during the holiday, we would come actually pick up. For a day, like literally all of us, all my cousins.
Yeah.
So I had like an idea of how
Cape Town
Cape Town was.
Okay,
so it was not sort of like a total sort of like shock in a way. Literally, like when I think maybe the only thing was like can't figure school in. So things are like this. But in terms of like the actual, like from a general perspective of how things felt, fam African, that's a scary dog, like.
Period.
Like, what is that, bro? Like, yeah, no, it's Lalina. Come to think of like it's going in go. So I think we, but teach Hashem.
Like primary.
It's called been from so in as much as, I mean, we didn't have any library, we didn't have any books or anything,
too much.
all of that. If I were to use like some kind of a way to describe, maybe it was like some kind of like an innate need to actually like deprive it, or like to actually want to do like better for myself. Because as I mentioned, in terms of the environment and Kolekoyo, like the curiosity I had, I think it played a major role in how I sort of like viewed things, looked at things. So yeah, in a long story short, I literally became the top student in grade 8 in my class.
Without throwing shade.
Nah,
it's pretty facts.
And I didn't even have to think about it actually, in terms of like, oh, is it like a major change or anything? Like I just kept on continuing to do what I was doing from back at the primary.
Ikhona la nto yoba like use ingcobo yabo, i-resources are not that much yabo.
Not much. Do they even exist? But
they don't exist.
Azikho much ne esikolweni yabo back then, because asazi ngoku binjani yabo. And then ke ngoku you come to kweli side yabo ku grade 8 usafika, and then you excel yabo. Ikhona la nto kuthiwa uba ne academic privilege, bekhona ubabu smart bakho, because not wonke umuntu like or average so okwazi ukwenza loo nto leyo yabo. So ikhona la nto ithe chatha apho kuwe, because uzawufumaniseka ubana like wena you grasp knowledge faster than, or maybe mandithi easier than maybe abanye abantu, and then wa catch up quick yabo, to a point yoba ude ube top yabo. Then obviously ke ngoku to take away from your hard work and yonke loo nto leyo yabo. So yeah, kudala usiscare. Kudala usiscare. Then yeah, so fikile elokishini, then wablenda yini esikolweni nayo yonke loo nto leyo. Then yeah, kulaa period yase-high school still, well, esikolweni nasekasi yonke loo nto leyo for fun wenza ntoni kulaa period?
This one is interesting because one, esikolweni besikuso, we didn't have like extramurals.
Okay.
As in like extramurals. I mean, we corner like adding at, you know that those times were like as a like school things for sports, yeah. Okay. Just super for like phase. And then after that, like it's like it existed at all. So it's not like it was like a cultivated thing. You understand? Like it's like, oh yeah, it's just okay, like whatever, okay, since okay, goes over competition between sport.
Load shedding food. Yeah,
high ESCOM.
So continuation. So continuation sibone binjani, but just nje ubuza ngaba light at least right kolo side.
Good.
Right ne. Okay, must continue.
Yeah, like in terms of like extramurals, the school really, because what I'm trying to go with this is that it's not like after a school I had to like, okay, I have to go for like practice or all that kind of stuff. No, it was not a thing.
So but it's not like I was joining a business.
They didn't exist per se, you know. But outside of this gala, so when I come back from say school, we had a spaza shopping thing.
Okay.
So most of the time I would like help out the shop.
We cash as trade.
Literally. I was like low-key retailer from the top, informal retailer.
Before his father shops was attached.
Yeah.
You are coming with another interesting.
Before the time his father shop.
Who was I speaking with? Well, I was saying, I can't remember, but it's interesting how, like, his father shop literally just became.
Yeah.
They just diminished, man.
And asithathanga ngegun okanye ngothini ibe-competition nje.
You know, but yeah, but somehow I think my mom had like a speciality. Magwinya guys. Abakwazi ukudla amagwinya.
And abakwazi nya so ubucombine amagwinya plus nesiphaza shop.
Spaza shop, yeah. It is actually still like, running.
Combination le isarana
Still
nawo.
have it, yeah.
That's nice.
Shout out to my mom.
Because isiphaza shop ezabantu abamnyama abalapha like okanye umXhosa or umZulu lo zinqabile.
Because nothing like we were shop, you know, when I arrived there from Kapa. I mean, was it? And it's still standing.
Sakhuba straight. Shout out to umama wakho.
Black businesswoman.
Yeah. Chini. And I'm sure kwakudala futhi ngoba like ufika kwakho from 2010. Then still sisarana nangoku.
Still standing.
Yes.
Plus 14 years, yeah.
Damn.
Yo. Kufuneka sikhe simzame for i-podcast ake azosixelela uba like ukwazi njani ukumelana nale nto le wave le yoba kubekho abantu abaninzi like ama-songs azothatha iziphaza shops yabo. But ke so no man Sive awutunikele into endiyifunayo still which is outside of isikolo. Okay, so ngokuchila uba isiphaza shop.
The thing I was basically I was that kid who was known by everyone because I'm a technically.
Yeah.
So the guys who would chill, say for instance, Xokashe shop is going in.
Yeah.
I knew those people because Babas were my power. Some of them like maybe I had to go in there, so they would just pop there.
Yeah.
Maybe on Shalisa or all that kind of stuff. So I think in a way I was like shielded from ezinye because I was a shop. Yeah.
Well, nami benifuna ukubuza ngalowo nto ke in terms of coming from Eastern Cape to the Cape Town, with townships, because most of us grew up knowing people are involved with crime, right?
Yeah.
And some of us grew up not necessarily grew up like having a sibling involved with crime. So now we community people that are involved with crime. When how did a crime as a lokshini sort of like influenced you, or how did you view it from your perspective?
I just thought of a story. Fam, I was almost stabbed.
Okay.
I was almost stabbed. I was coming back at school, right? So then the phone. So to those of us, there's a parky and there's like a bridge that connects to Mandalay.
I know it.
Yeah. So I'm coming there and the approach, I'm going, and then so Chika, Kubanzong, start saying Asekai. And then there was this guy, Ozayo, behind me, and Bambe, and then like, I say phone, and I'm like, and I'm like, what? Like, cause I'm like, like, and you're like, damn, I'm not realized by the rotor. And then, and warned him, remember that he actually took out Ibozo.
Yeah.
And then maybe he was gonna do something, but luckily, I think I saw some. I didn't see the person who that person is, but there was a lady who screamed.
Yeah.
And then that guy ran away.
Sure.
So someone saw the non-rotor, and then I didn't see that there was a knife. She screamed. The guy ran away. Then Kanyamba, someone from England was saying, etc. And I was like, oh shit.
And you were not willing to give your phone out.
Thing is, I was not even aware when you wrote it out. Like I'm like, you know that thing where you have a fight, or is it fly?
It's fly. Flight or
freeze.
Or fight.
And then this was freeze. I think I was on the freezing. Yeah, I was on the freezing part.
Nkonki.
I'm like, bro, like when's that? Like what's happening? I'm like, because I'm still looking at him. In a way, Goloza, but I was not aware about Goloza.
Yeah.
By that Samaritan, I was screaming.
Sure.
If you are Mazu Sive, you know, wow, sense of Maguinya, and you screamed when you saw him about to get robbed. You know, shout out to you. Because
maybe she's somewhere screaming now.
But anyway, yeah. Yeah, but to go back to your question about crime, I think for the most part, like I was sure that fam, because then we're schooling and then I would just go shop, you know, help. Literally, just working. Part of what I think I believe played a role again in maybe who I became and how I sort of like be, because you know, in terms of Usebenzi, it was like a collective thing. Like it's not like Kumama or Mutana who has to.
Benirana a small company, basically.
Yeah. Everyone was part
nice
of the income generating, things of the house. Of course, nice. I'm viewing this from my old age, because when at the time I didn't see it like that, but
yeah. Okay. Then high school, ne?
Yeah.
Now, high school, grade 10, you get to choose. Then waketa his streams, because kukoi history, math, science, commerce, and why?
Science. Based on what I just said, it would have made sense for me to choose commerce and business.
Yeah, because currently,
you know, because now I'm thinking about if Nanfunimadi and you know just be.
Can you not shop right? You know, see.
You know,
right? But then it goes back to this thing of like not having people who were like in the game to sort of like show you, oh, actually, can you shop? But then you know someone who's also like close by within your sphere that who can actually say, oh, by the way, you can use this field to go to this direction. But without going too much into that, I chose maths and science. Chose science fam.
Yeah. Lab coat or quite grade 10 as guys don't lab coat.
No.
Lab coat is basically class year ever said.
Yeah.
Lab coat. So I grade 10 it be matter of what you think you are good at. Okay, if teachers can advise can go to learn and so forth. So
which I also think it's crazy how sometimes what you end up being in can be influenced by not so much about, let's say, maybe like at home or maybe that you aspire to be, but rather by the passion of the person who's actually teaching you the material.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Nabe Bafetu. Shout out to Mr. Nabe. Because he was teaching
physics. Oh, what?
He was teaching me in natural science for grade 8.
Oh.
And then I went to grade 9. Obviously, I was not taught by him. But I think I realized from grade 9, Miss Mali as well, she was teaching me maths. I realized from there, actually, you know what, science makes sense. I liked it. And the people who were actually teaching it were actually like, you know, they're passionate about it. But I think for the thing that actually made me to like stick with science was actually in grade 10, which was chemistry.
Yeah. You enjoyed it.
We were lucky enough to get Odisha Shalagazi, right, who was new.
Okay. Even new as in new as school in Shafukan or from Everseed.
But also she was new because she was just coming
from Everseed.
Okay. Teaching. The way she explained a precipitation, guys. Yo, like I even know, like the way she explained precipitation, she was like, I think she was explaining like a reaction, and we were like, you let's say two things are combining and then you form a precipitate. We were like, what is a precipitate? I was like, oh, so inclining is a precipitate. somehow I found that cool. And that's when I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do chemistry. Literally, her making science cool, Miss Lucid, shout out, is the one who literally made me like fall in love with the discipline I ended up choosing and going into. It was chemistry, and as you would know, I've done chemistry.
Yeah. And still scared.
Yeah.
Okanye bekhona umuntu who came out wakhona was like 30 number 1 sports
It reminds me now, was it the episode of my day? I think of some guy there, and I was still.
You held your ground.
I still was. I'm forgetting. Okay. He challenged me in maths, but I guess it was good. Challenge is always good, as my teacher also said. Like, it makes you. Pushes you. But I think still I was.
Descent.
I was still.
Descent with 100%.
But I was collecting the awards. When they would call you there. But...
Yeah, I get it. Then, okay. What was our application process to Everseed? Now, so now go grade 12. Grade 12.
Okay.
Kuba career exhibitions, see with varsities, we get to see, because as much about what we want to do. Then from a career exhibitions, they get to show you a bit of Everseed now. And then because how did you choose apply for Ndoni, and did you apply like now young like in application the process? Because I know they struggle when it comes to who apply and end up not applying. Then next year umuntu apase kahle ayofuna uba walk in.
In terms of the application process, lucky you though for having
career exhibitions.
Not that I am, because I feel like the only one I remember was like A1 that I had, and I think it went to I can't even remember. CBUT, I think.
And yes.
Was to say down. So
CBUT down.
My assumption would be Saza CBUT.
Okay.
Because it was not the one in Belleville. Saza down. Because I remember Bass Project days. But even from that, I don't think I learned anything, fam.
Yeah.
To the point that I don't even remember what we did or what was happening. And I don't know what happened. Like I can't recall what was happening. The only thing I do remember was that I was so bored. I was like, I need to get the hell out of here. But in terms of actually doing the applications, I was lucky enough. The way I'm dropping people's teachers' names. Shout out to Mr. Dow.
Good teachers like Xokashe out, because they do need recognition, because they go an extra mile, man, to try and help us.
Mr. Dow, they literally sneaked us into a reception. So I was lucky enough to go to a reception. Corner, as a teacher. And then they were like, you need to apply. We need to apply. And I was like, okay. I need a laptop, and then we figured you. Luckily enough, I was lucky in the sense that at least I somehow, I don't know, this thing of like fiddling with the phone, to some extent, I already had like an email address. Somehow, I don't know how I managed to do that, but now. So I just had to then obviously maneuver how to use the laptop and all of that. But I was literally told, I don't think in me, I was like, okay, I need to apply. Or even get someone who's going to be like, okay guys, we want to help you guys to apply, or those kind of like sort of small groups and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to blame anyone, because I don't recall me doing that for other people. So I'm going to... what to Tishala, like, you need to apply early. Yeah, and apply. I don't know if I apply about grade 11 or because I know they always ask for like you're like grade 11.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe I apply in grade 12 or not.
Yeah, it's apply grade 12.
Yeah, grade 12. Yeah, like it was a matter of like, what and go apply. And then I was like, okay, I apply and.
Applying where and for what?
I apply, I think my first choice was going to be, my first choice was a Bush, UWC. I was like, that's where I'm going because why would I apply somewhere else? And then I think because they felt that my marks were good, or at least I was like a good performing student. They believed that I could like, pull up good marks. So they were like, why are you limiting yourself? Like, apply and say UCT. I was like, oh, okay, I might as well. I apply UCT just for the sake of applying. I was like, oh, well.
That's true. Then, so you applied AUCT, Nase Bush?
I don't recall applying AUCT, but maybe I did. But I don't recall applying AUCT. I think those were the three. I didn't apply outside of Western Cape.
Okay.
Because it never occurred. Because I'm realizing now if X is Ash. I don't know, but yeah, I didn't even consider like applying outside of Western Cape. I just like limited my options and the ones around.
Okay.
Maybe part of me was afraid, I don't know. But
yeah, both Nampo, it's not like that apply with you now because that was born in Puma. Yeah, it became on doing Konba. I can apply to friends. Like I sang a figure and clock, I don't wanna lie.
That's my thing, it never okay.
Like everyone could then apply on who use Stellenbosch. Yeah.
Because I went there, fam. Saswa, okay. That's not about two though.
Yeah.
I won't call it an exhibition, but so what's about two Mna and the other guy was saying challenge me comments guy. We went there for like and the first thing there is a guy who were like 50% English, 50% Afrikaans. While we there going for this like what an exhibition, if I may call it like that. So already we had to put like those things like if in case particularly Afrikaans who could then hear what they were saying. Like that thing like where they can translate for you, I guess. It was like a special like I guess meeting because it was only Mnanadamjita who went there.
Okay.
So we went to this hall whereby if they were to speak Afrikaans, they're gonna translate for us, Tina. For that particular like meeting.
Why would they speak Afrikaans?
Because it's
English, it doesn't make sense.
Actually, you got Stellenbosch Brewery, you can tell us.
Collection fancy like by headsets for translated.
They can literally speak English.
Okay. I go translation headsets. Well, Chelsea Chupra. Surely that was a special occasion where I go for a headsets as the reverse audio to you or language preferred. He set up like every module besides his course, just only his course, right? Every module is done English and Afrikaans, meaning you can write mathematics, science in English or Afrikaans, depending on your choosing. And then you quiz slides, they have 2 sets of slides, which means they're divided. So on this other side it's English, on this other side the Afrikaans. And then when they give us a test, a quiz, online quiz, you can take the quiz in Afrikaans. If you have to hand in a hard copy of an assignment, you can type it in Afrikaans, it's accepted. So
but in teaching, it's in English. What?
Teaching, because we chose teaching to be in English. Teaching is English. Then we lectures who like to, sort of like accommodate abanye. Then not like repeat the same thing about Sunday theater. Like the next sentence I'm gonna say it in English.
Oh, but Okay. But yeah.
So they said 50-50 and then I disconnected. I was like, no ways. No ways I'm coming here.
Also, we call it Africans.
You know?
Yeah.
Because that's the issue. Now you're introducing another interesting aspect. I didn't have the luxury, though I do love languages. I don't have the luxury. We didn't have the luxury because we need also to learn a different language.
Yeah. Like as in Africans, we English Xhosa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Which I find
in Africans.
Man, I don't know. Oh, well, now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been a skill.
This track
From this point, I'll just see it as a skill. Because I know a lot of people, same time that I before that, they were like, we had to do Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Like, that's the PSA. So it was like an option. Well, that's if it was an option, but we didn't have that.
I think if I make it as an option, because not bar, it's a must. Because it's our problem. Yeah, for umuntu ofuna uyifunda ke angafunda ke loo nto leyo.
I mean, not even Afrikaans, like another language, like, I don't know, Sotho, Bedi, Tsonga, Chivenda, you know. But
No.
we didn't have a language outside this course in English.
Oh, but ndizafuna uya kule application process yakho awukatsho uba uaplya for ntoni.
Oh, so because that was my precipitation, I was like, I'm gonna do science. I didn't. When I did obviously searches, I was like, okay, there were like things like medical science, or I was like, okay, and there hasn't one there, but I'm just gonna apply for like this science thing.
Yeah.
So I applied for a Bachelor of Science. I can't remember UCT. You see, this is the thing. I can't remember what I applied for at Bush.
Okay.
Which is crazy now that I think about it. But it was probably also like related to
Science.
With like science.
There's chemical science.
Something along those lines, yeah. I will do there and try and find out. And then I'll obviously post in the comments because I'm always there. But yeah.
Then AUCT, Bachelor of Science, then majors, because you get to choose majors.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the science faculty for making us have 2 majors. Yeah, I applied for, so I knew straight away that I was going to do chemistry.
Yeah.
It always stayed as a thing that I was going to do. And then as a second major, I was like, I'm just going to find something that has chemistry.
Okay.
I was like, I'm going to do biochemistry. Is it biochemistry?
You call it biochem,
Yeah, biochem.
So initially you applied for chemistry and biochem.
Biochem.
Okay.
Well, that's what I chose when I was choosing those majors when I got there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We apply grade 12 metric January. Zaphume results.
I got a call.
Wafumani call from where?
Hi, WC. Hi, Bush. Bush.
But
we have an offer for you.
And also like Imax is almost.
Oh yeah, I got. Which one did I? I didn't get the English code 7, but I got code 7 or all the other ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So wait. Okay, but
You really were.
Listen,
but let's move back. Maybe let's say like ngokubhala kwakho grade 12. Yabo. So i-trials most yabo.
I thought just crossed my mind. Yes, you're going there exactly.
Okay, kayithathi uye kule thought yakho.
Go. I'm gonna edit.
Okay.
As you go.
So kwi-trials yabo. I-trials must be like preparation towards the final.
Yeah.
Yabo. So bezinjani i-trials?
Which is so scary, like.
Yeah. I-pressure ka-grade 12 is too much. I don't wanna lie.
Because I don't know why. I think I felt the pressure. And I don't know how it translated. Like, I can't recall how I felt when I was doing them. But one thing I can do say, again, another name drop. Shout out to Kutranong, bruh.
Oh.
Kutranong,
And
fan.
you were one of those. You were the good one.
Brother?
Yes.
Shout out.
Yo.
Shout out.
Like, shout out to Kutranong.
Yeah.
Kutranong is good.
I think I was shouted when I was in grade 11, I think. Was it grade 11 or grade 12? I
Nah.
don't remember, man. But see now, grade 12 as well. So we had to school ready, because the point was, and then we had to walk CSNTM.
Yeah.
Oh, so from lower to affiliate.
Philip. You know,
Yeah.
walk here and we would go there, get there. I didn't even mind kind though.
But what?
But obviously, you know.
Bakhona
Yes,
nabanye bonke nonke,
yes,
yeah.
stand on song. This is just one because my mom's gonna be watching this, but yeah. your mama, but yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Good along, bro. It really helped, bro.
Yeah.
It really helped so much that utitshala wethu instead when who was teaching me, I didn't give a shout out to Mr. Metz. Mr. John, hello. Utitshala wethu Mr. Naisha was also part of the program. Utitshala he even got to a point where the people who were going to a good along, he would literally like not teach us. He would be like, Nina is our teacher. Like would help other class need because we were literally ahead. So the thing that the CNs are in Kukulong was not the same thing we were doing
It's
schooling.
one thing
Okay.
about Kukulong is always like
It gives you
ahead.
that.
Yeah.
So it was somehow, yeah, so in a way we knew, so it got figured us into that section. We just knew about, okay, like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to like put too much effort on us. Or he'll be like Xokashe, like, explain so then go like maybe say for instance, maybe after school, like in we'll form like groups where I would like help Abanye to explain the concept and stuff. But going back to your question in terms of trials, I remember now since I mentioned Makula, my grandmother passed away, bro, when I was doing trials. Literally during the exams.
Yo.
Damn.
I remember I had to write paper nets. And that weekend, when we had to go and bury her, I was gonna have to write emails on Monday.
Yeah.
So what happened is I think I was Daya, we buried her, so, and then so I think we made arrangements according that I think Labon, Bal, minutes. I'm gonna go in after one. So that was about copies or like
Copies
also
also. Style syllabus. I'm independent.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the paper.
What's up?
That by the paper, yeah, I think even though like I didn't like practice and stuff, but still managed to
Because of Kutlano.
talk it out because coach really helped. It really helped. When you taught you something, somehow it sticked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how important it was, and also probably how maybe not so much heavy the trials were, because I was able to like
You were well prepared, basically.
just to withstand whatever thing that might have prevented me from focusing in school. Somehow I was able to like overcome whatever obstacle I might have had.
Yeah.
So shout out to them.
Yeah.
I hope they retire.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
You mentioned your teacher was saying to you, Sive, am I doing this correctly? Is this the right thing? Because he knew we're ahead because you were attending a program, a school program. And not necessarily ahead again, he knew you knew how to tackle as many questions. I feel for your teacher that you mentioned. I think I know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
For someone who's doing a teaching practice work, right? Payana, well, I don't know why and why you go see this style, but
Yeah.
I think it's the same formula through every teacher or someone who wants to become a teacher. They give you like a set of work and some sort of a baseline, a guideline that you're supposed to follow. But they try by all means to accommodate one because they tell you about, okay, in this set of classroom you're gonna meet 30% abantu abaperforma like way quickly than abanye, then you get the rest abaperforma like way lesser and way more slower than others, right? So but I find it fun, but I think i-rule education okanye as teachers, as much as we call a baseline, as a teacher I believe you should freestyle, always freestyle, just so you can like accommodate, because I believe ikutanong is not, even though maybe bakhona utitshala phaa okanye abantu abarana la after school program, bona from experience they know about, okay, this chapter I don't have to take like the or when I give it to learners, I have to like go straight to the point about what is needed through examination. So I just wanted to say that, but I think I feel where the teacher was coming from.
And I think also it takes, like, as Umate is saying, it takes like someone who's like built a lot of like experience. Because I know another teacher, Mr. Nabe had a very like freestyle way of teaching you.
Okay.
It was personal. Like it was personal. Like, like, he would like, like why we joke with it? Like, why we like, he would like tell, like, try find ways like to explain stuff to you. I mean, Kutarong does not cater for, well, I don't know about now, but it didn't cater for like life science and stuff back then. It's like math and science. So Mr. Nabe, we didn't, so he was doing extra classes. So we didn't attend those extra classes. Somehow, he always was like, whoa, because there were certain things that he was teaching that other people were actually getting from those extra classes. And then Tina was sort of like, because like, I can put in a sense in Tina. So yeah, it is I think when it comes to like experience and building experience and being able to sort of like be dynamic as a teacher, it would be a very like good thing in terms of like teaching.
It's more about your freestyle. I think one thought just came into my mind quickly. The freestyle as a teacher, I think if you owning a business, right, and any business has its own funds to run itself, right? Okay, you have your personal account, you have a business account.
Right.
Freestyle as a teacher, it's more of taking from your personal account then putting it in public business so that the business can like keep on flowing. So
I think the fundamentals of like how to run a business, but also you have to add
exactly
experience.
Add your personality and so forth. No man. Bigile part le kamakhulu wakho, because ndole njengoba sifunda was like bakhona abantu esikhuluma yo funa uimpressa like kumakhulu okanye parent, like especially for grade 12, because uyayazi uba ujongiwe yabo and i-results zakho bazokuvuyela mna abantu yabo. And I'm sure it would be nice if umakhulu wakho like got to see the results zakho and abone uba uqhuba kanjani, because njengoba wena ubuye esingcwabeni ngo-September yabo, kwelami iside bendiye ngo-Feb kweyongcwaba ithwayo. Because nakumka ngo-2014 itime laye lasweleka yabo. And akho nice loo nto, because nam kwakumnandi ndibuye esikolweni ndiyoqhubeka nee-classes yabo. And eyakho I think ibisesekugqibeleni kwi-trials and so forth, then eyam iphaa ekuqaleni, so bendinalo ixesha lokuadjusta like fumanisa uba and ke ngoku le yakho like abanye abantu baye babreake when things ezinjalo happen, especially when you lose umntu or close school.
Was it?
Yeah, like focus esikolweni wanaphi na, and then you get to lose umuntu close school, and then somehow man we will be shaken now. And pick up to wena, like come endleleni, like you managed ufumane as distinctions. And also man, like uchilo man, shout out to Kutwa was baninzi abantu abasuke Kutwa nong ebebe phakla UCT.
Fam, because go on.
Ikutwa nong like for abantu abangayaziyo iya ku different schools ithathe i-students yabo ibadibanise to eso sikolo eso yabo, then izama ubabeka ahead kwi-curriculum, ibatiche, yenze yonke loo nto leyo yabo. And i-initiative nice isekhona Kutwa nong.
I believe so.
Yeah, and thanks to naloo nto leyo yabo, if isaqhubeka, because andazi nyo esilebheni yaphose kanjani. Yeah, because thina singena Kutwa nong thina yabo. It's like the story as like this is enzela ngokwethu.
But I think after Nina,
Kunyaka nila,
yeah. When you were 11.
Yeah. But nganyaka wethu because I remember nina beni ofisa get to yona yabo ezibasiya so, and ibi weird why nisazana and so forth, because bendiyilona nje qha yabo. But ke all great of work yabo,
Right.
kodwa no incedile nawe awalala zaphuma results wafumana distinctions ngaka.
Yeah.
Yabo, you applied a Bush, you applied a UCT, so basically point you were money call a Bush.
Oh yeah.
But in a Bush.
For an offer for you, I was like, okay. They were like, okay, everything is there.
Rate in the
We even have like a scholarship or some kind of like money they can like throw in towards my
yeah.
my tuition. I was like, oh okay, I will get back to you guys.
Yeah, we are part.
Yeah, negotiate.
I don't even remember if I was negotiating per se, but I do know that EUCT was so quick in sending the offer.
Yeah.
Because I think, but I don't know whether I think either that call in about, because I think when I opened my email, EUCT was like conditional offer. Like they were like, here's an offer, like with like past service bonus marks, and they get the marks and stuff. So they were like, yeah, we'll take it. I was like, oh, that UCT. So. Like, it's no brainer, I'm gonna go. Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe at the time I didn't know if there was gonna be anyone there. Well, I knew there was not gonna be anyone from his Korean Sam, but
No.
I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to swim
No.
where the wave is taking me at this point.
Why reject Bush then or Paxing
I
Bash?
don't think I rejected that. I just never got back to them. Well, I guess maybe then I did reject them, but yeah.
Okay, or Paxing Bash. Oh, if you made like be happy and you want to get on
Yeah, they
like
were. I think it was kind of sort of like I don't say it was expected, but I think maybe it's based on the way I was, carrying myself and stuff. Like they were like, oh yeah, made us proud, and of course I was gonna now go stay, but nothing my offer areas, so it meant I was gonna go now stay.
Paxing Bash.
Let's go to it. So it was like a very like. It was not a big transition because it meant I could come back the weekend. So everyone was happy. They were happy. I believe.
No.
Were you the first to go to university?
My mom did, but I don't think
okay.
she didn't finish.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She
That's
did go.
nice.
But yeah, Bendak. I think
Yeah,
she
Bendak.
went to Bendak, yeah. CBUT. But yeah.
So Paxing Bash, I think around March or end of Feb. Now, we are back now.
Yep.
The whole week, like how like this is our first few our first week. Yeah, because I think you were the only one from
And Raz,
yeah. So I assume awazimdu, and then you get to meet abanye abantu pa.
Yeah, so you don't know anyone, and then you just like, okay, wait. All week is when we do the touring again.
Yeah, orientation week. Love video.
Because it's also the residence one. I was like, yeah.
It's about the same week.
Really?
I think so, yeah. Because I think ekseni uyahamba
you attend
uye pha ekhampasini, then later ke ngoku bakuzulise ngoku around up. I think, yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm correct, but I think all week you one, unless we get earlier before all week.
Oh, I see. I just arrived by that weekend, where everyone was just arriving again. But yeah, all week, yeah, man, it was lonely as fuck. Excuse the language, but yeah, because like it's like I don't know, like among people I knew, most of them they went to CBUT and the bullshit. I was the only one was there. But then I guess that's where like Kutrana really came through.
Okay.
Because then I was like, oh, nangu siyamanga. Oh, nangu ubongi. Oh, nangu also, like, the people like I knew from Kutrana. Oh, nangu ban. And you're like, okay. Maybe I'm not so much alone per se. But also, the shout out to the friends we've made during the whole week that we still kept, because fam, yeah, crazy. But yeah,
But then see, man,
all week was
like, even though we focus only on what we do at high school, but if we bengayazi laa nto translator to nasevasithi, because
it's true.
Even abantu aba from different schools nabo then nidibane phaa and kube right nabo. So yeah, chem and biochem.
Yeah, those are the majors that I chose.
And then ke ngoku xa kuregisterishwa for ii-majors, but what registerishwa for zona?
Like, let's do chem, and then they were like, you need a second one. I was like, chemistry. I mean, if I'm good in chem, then it means I should be good in the other one.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I did. That's because of Vini, and those were the majors.
Then is quite a first test ibhalwayo phaa university. Kuthiwa zii-decant tests.
Woo!
Brother? Because AUSTMOS, you apply for a 3-year BSc
program, yeah.
And then kubekho laa decant test of which that decant test layer is like, I think it's an option. Do you want to continue with mainstream or you want to extend your degree? How explain nje like la first test injani and what happened after?
Rough. Rough. The first thing is you have to adjust to, the fact that you are now being constantly taught in English.
Okay.
And you're just like, what? Like, what do you mean now I have to be tuned to like having to listen in English all the time? You just get tired from just like, oh my man, because your brain is just like, okay, I'm tired now. My English ones are just, yeah, like it's one thing to talk, it's another thing to even like to listen. You're like, it's not getting through. Like, there's that thought, but you like, it was tough. But I think also for Mna, there's one thing Shem, I don't want to lie, I think I was honest with the fact that I was like, you know what, they're struggling sharp.
Yeah.
In the sense of, there's just a big gap, it's a big jump. I was
That's
like,
true.
I am not gonna act tough. I'm not gonna act I'm not gonna be a tough cookie,
Yeah.
There's one, and I think maybe this comes from, again, shout out to Kutrano. Kutrano had this thing where the top like performance students will be sent out to like have like dinners and
Oh.
sport and land.
Mm.
I thought I was a Caesar, bruh. Thought I was a Caesar, bruh.
Let's get it
I
school.
met other Caesars. You a Caesar meets a rock.
I can't go.
Like Caesar breaks, bruh. I'm telling you, I never went to those dinners, dog. I never made it through to actually experience the vibe if I was the top student I thought I was.
Yeah.
But that's where it had other minds, I think that's where I got humbled. I think that's where I was like, oh, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do it in our own way. We'll do it in our own
pace. Yeah.
I think that's where I first had to accept the fact that you're not as smart as you think you are. Which I think was really helpful because when I got to varsity, you see what happens when OSCOM decides to leave. So when I got to varsity, speaking of like the decanting thing, I decanted with. I was like, let's do this. I was like, we're doing it. Like, why should I act?
Even the Kuba Pala misery, we face our Pala first quarter. Then let's go.
I was like, well, okay. We're not gonna carry on like that's gonna carry on if we go through this.
Yeah.
Fana, take the extra year.
Yeah.
And if it means it's gonna help you to slow things down, it had. And by the way, I passed. I think I passed all my tests.
Yeah.
I passed all my tests, but I was like, even though it's passing, but I saw the pace of things. I was like, there's no way I'm
going to be able to catch up.
So I willingly openly decanted. It's like, yeah, we're decanting, going to EDP, fam.
Yeah.
EDP.
And EDP, that's when we will stay on a corner that.
Yeah, that's it.
Quit decanting because Pana Silo small group mostly abantu abasuke yabo because la transition from isikolo sasekasi to AUCT a big jump like a big jump enkulu and kunzima to handle it. Yabo as a lecture was zabo like what you were saying isilungu and so forth,
right?
Like iba too much to a point yoba you are not as good as you think, and then you think oba I belong in again now like like before the decant test like we are go up because you are always chasing, like we are always behind kuyo yonke into, and then ubone idea futhi yoba ivarsity bekuzaba mandi nabo because besibukela ivarsity kwi American movies like ubone ba no man kupholiwe man apha kumandi yonke lento leyo.
Nice life problem.
Then awufika khona you like no man this is not the promised land.
They sold me a dream.
Exactly. Then la program ye decant kanye EDP yesinike at least la breathing space cause izinto zizawuslower down yabo
literally
to adjust, and not to say like I'll call smart, it's just that I'll be ready.
Yeah, to actually
I'll be ready. Now it's like a preparation phase for us adjust sifundi isilungu nayo yonke lonto le yabo, and also yengoku ibe ilo group yengoku le with abantu abathetha le ithethayo, and ubone ba at least man the degree is our pop.
This is why it's so important, guys, to plan for your kids. Like, get that trust fund going, send them to those expensive schools so that when they get to transition to varsity, it's a breeze. But it is what it is. We can't overrate the past. But here we are.
Then so feel like we EDP ne sabane sessions no Pavani.
Shout out Pavani.
Kwa mind sa adjust yabo. Kwa shufflish courses yabo because ndifuna le point apho ngokwena you switched to oceanography, like yenzeke phi lo point le?
I ran into someone, you know, I think they were floor yet, ne?
Yeah.
It was like a chat, you know, we're trying to, be civil and also social with people, so making sort of friends in the floor. And then he was asking me, was this P major? I was like, chemistry and biochem. And he was like, biochem? And I was like, what do you mean biochem? He was like, yo, bruh, I'm also doing biochem, and that thing is,
Which?
But also it was, when people who have been there and they're trying to like say, in as much as it is like in Zima, but it's not like it's all decided for and about what you should do or what you shouldn't do, but like just expect that things are gonna be not as,
as is.
And I was like, okay, Sive, let's think a bit. There's one thing you do know, you wanna do chemistry, right? And I don't see myself like pursuing another new thing right now. Like, we're gonna stick with the chemistry. So I was then, and I realized the more I hear about biochem as a game, I wonder where biochem is
a trap.
Is beating people. I was like, so the nice thing then about a first year UCT is that you get to do like general courses for the first year. So maths, physics.
Oh yeah, that's also any into I think it's worth to mention that if let's say we apply for a chem, well, the case a UCT,
right?
I have to figure ends chem straight. Class first year you'll do maths, physics now. Then by chem, by a person.
Chem. Well, I mean, it depends obviously on the stream you want to choose.
Or any major.
So if you are someone who's like, okay, I want to do chem and biochemistry, so it's gonna be physics. So maths and physics is sort of like what everyone does, and then you then choose the ones that are gonna sort of like be specific to your stream. So there's chemistry, there's biology, there's bio, there's comsci for the comsci people, there's geo for the geo people, there's stats for the stats people, there's math applied for the math applied people, there's those different streams, there are a lot of them. But obviously they're the basics ones. So I was like, okay, I did the general ones. Then when it came for me to actually go for the following year, I was like, again, there are certain things that I'm okay with accepting. One thing I accepted was there's no way I'm gonna go to biochemistry knowing that about humanity is wild, because there was nothing that was sending me to biochemistry. I was only willing to choose it because it had chemistry with it.
Okay.
But one thing I was willing to stick through with, whatever came, my first life was chemistry. I was like, I'm gonna do chem. But if I'm gonna do chem, I'm gonna have to do with something that is not heavy or something that is not, And then I went to the faculty handbook. I was like, okay, flip through that chonga. Oh, okay, there are these majors. I was like, geo, no. And then there was this weird one.
Yeah.
It was like C2004F. I was like, what? C, Oceanography. Your team, am I? I was like, okay.
Nice.
It was also interesting because, okay, most of these majors, I think they only started in second year. Okay. So it didn't have any like
first year.
It didn't have any first year and any prerequisite from like first year. So all the things that I did, I was able to get in Uyo.
Okay.
So I was like, actually, this is not a bad thing. If I get bored in the lab, maybe this thing will allow me to go out, maybe outdoors, because it was like you learn about the ocean and stuff and all of that. I was like, okay, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
It ain't bad. I was like, okay, let's go with this. And it doesn't look as heavy as well. So okay, sure. So I didn't even, again, I think, going back to Kukranong, that thing of knowing and accepting the situation and also like your abilities and strengths. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna act like a top dog and go and be like, I'm gonna show you biochemistry that I can. I was like, why must I make my life difficult? I was like, okay, choose something.
Yeah.
And because it was, and no one literally did that thing.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe there's a reason, but I was like, as long as it's not gonna give me troubles, let's go with it, and they chose that.
I think he can go because like usitsho ufuna chemistry, like your go-to is chem, and ke ngoku njengabantu babenee-major eziyi-2 ibasistruggle man, because abanye they mix i-comsci maybe ne-maths and ibasistruggle leso, yabo. And yes abanye like baye bakwazi ude bapase benza yonke loo nto leyo, but abanye abantu ufumaniseke uba if let's say ufuna i-comsci, like thatha i-comsci then we mix maybe nento light, yabo. If uyabona uyastrugglisha, if you are good it's fine, yabo. But if uyastrugglisha, thatha i-comsci yakho uyimixe nento light, then uyayazi uba i-degree yakho izawuba i-comsci. If uya kwi-honors comsci, if unospana uspana nge-comsci yakho. But mixing i-comsci maybe ne-stats, so fumaniseke uba ni-heavy comsci, heavy ne-stats ngapha, yabo. Ku-great uphuma nazo zoyi-2, but you don't have to. Nazo into endifuna kuyo, yabo. So now we're mixing i-chem kunye ne-oceanography. I think yo ibiheke enkulu. Ibiheke enkulu.
Really paid off, because then I remember like second year, third year, oceanography was like literally, I was like walking in the park. I was like walking in the park, because even the people who were teaching the thing were like cool people, you know, like Nibanga class in like probably like, I think maybe not more than 30 in second year. And then you go to third year, there's like maybe by 20 something, like your number just goes down. You just become sort of like very like fast, which is really like okay, but it's also white as well. Yeah,
because I couldn't answer the man.
Because even when on those options, so as this go figure, it was not even on the options. You know, almost they always put like chem major, physics major. Then they show you, like the advisor will tell you what you need to choose so that you can measure this thing. Ocean was never there, bro. Like it was never there, which goes to show you like you either knew from grade 12, but okay, I want to do marine bio, or I want to do something that has to do with the ocean.
Then imagine since it's oceanography, like in doing oceanography, like we know we came bufunda ndoni, but oceanography don't hopefully. And it was not because
how you can explain it.
If you be oceanology, basically it is the study of the ocean, because it has ocean even lodge.
I mean, to some extent, oceanography is the study of the ocean, but it's basically you studying things that are connected, or there's an aspect of the ocean, or rather, there's an aspect that the ocean is going to play in what you're doing. Okay. So when I got there, I realized that actually, ocean is way. I mean, I guess
too complicated.
Complicated in the sense that it's like a combination of all the different like measures of science. They put them in one thing, and then you just like applying those things into that sort of like stream.
Okay.
Because you can go to ocean if you're doing someone who's measuring in stats. You can go to ocean if you're someone who's measuring in maths.
Yeah.
You can go to ocean if you're someone who's doing geology. You can go to oceanography if you're someone who's doing chemistry. You can go to the ocean if you're someone who's doing computer science. Like literally, it has all the different aspects. You are using all those different like fields to study the ocean.
Okay.
So you can use your physics. So you probably do physical oceanography. I was not good in physics, so physical oceanography was never my favorite. You can use your math if you're someone who did math to understand or to do the. You'd be good in modeling, right? Because modeling requires you to know. You need to be like good in math.
Yeah.
They don't teach good maths also in oceanography. Like they just give you like the basic math.
Yeah.
You can also, again, if you're doing someone who did computer science, you can use your knowledge of computer science to it's all about computation. Not all about it. There's an aspect of computation. So things such as let's say weather prediction, weather forecast. Weather forecast relies heavily on using models. So if you have a good knowledge of computer science, you could do well in that aspect. If you're a biologist or you're doing bio, you can branch into ocean by using, or rather learning about the organisms and animals that are in there. If you're doing chemistry, of course, how can I forget? Oh, you
Yeah.
can study the chemistry of the ocean. So what are the things that are sort of like from a chemical point of view are in the water? What dissolves there? What gets in there?
Yeah.
What sort of like gets released by the ocean? What things that it is kupayo outside. So pretty much everything in science that you're doing in science you can literally apply in oceanography. It's literally, I would say it's a discipline where you get to apply your knowledge of science to study or get a better understanding
Of the ocean.
of the ocean. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fundamental.
Throughout those aspects that you just mentioned, I can see about the discipline is simplified into too many aspects.
Yeah, it's
But-
multi.
Yeah, ininzi nje iyavakala nje. But whenever you're doing a major ethile, you can connect it with the ocean,
Yeah.
right? So is there A1
Mhm.
that sets them as a unit so that you can like qualify for any
Oh,
ezizonke busozibizile?
good one. I think the department now is trying to embark on a sort of a structure whereby they want to decide which courses or subject
Mhm.
people need as a basics for them to actually get into the discipline.
Sure.
And I think they're still struggling to figure that out because again it goes back to this thing yoba, like it has so many like different aspects. But in terms of simplifying your life and maybe simplifying my life, I believe if you have a good maths background, like very good,
Yeah.
and a good computer science background, you could probably like tackle most of the oceanography. And of course you would need sort of like a background in sort of like the earth system, so something that might be either a geology. So currently geo is like a prerequisite. You need to have geo because then it will tell you about how the planet formed and what were the sort of like how things were before. So that's good for like understanding the ocean. But again, as I'm saying, it's like it's made up of different aspects. Because the third year course is literally like full of like math, I think. The second year course is just full of like chemistry, sort of like bio stuff, chemistry, water kind of vibes. So that's why they just like, if you go for chemistry or for geo, yeah, you
Okay.
fine. Yeah, you need one of those. But yeah,
Then just nje ube kupause kwi-academics ezi, then kulaa period maybe let's say kwi-undergrad yabo for fun wenza ntoni?
UCT fam. UCT fam.
Akho clash.
Bruh. Yeah, bruh, damn. I don't think. Nah, bruh.
Next.
Nah, bro, UCT was crazy, fam. UCT was crazy because even when you do get the break, or like it's like you're trying to catch up, you're trying to, yeah. Because outside of that, you just like I guess it's a matter of like just chilling with your friends and stuff. But there was nothing that is. I mean, I would say I was going out and all of that. No.
Yeah.
Now it was not a. Again, I guess it goes back to the group that I befriended. We were not rowdy guys. We were behaving. We were chilling.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see myself like doing sport at UCT. I was like, so like why?
Probably nyani, yes, because from primary, the high school, it's not like you had any
Sort
extra
of
curriculum activities.
That I could
ozenza.
like further explore. Ukuban.
And naxa sidibanayo e-UCT besidibana either xa siyotya,
Yeah, married.
yeah, or okanye siyotheklisha loo course leyo.
Because wow, science.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like from like 3 up until 5 for celeb, bruh.
Yeah.
3 hours, and then okay, we've got like what now until 6. The only thing I think we probably could have done after those like hours, probably what going parties and stuff. But Danga said so.
Yeah.
So
You call.
yet.
Shit. Then, yeah, just to sum we undergrad. Now, I grade undergrad. Now,
Yeah.
and after grade, or maybe let's say with final year, like what were your plans after?
Fam, we are part of the Phase Must Fall.
Oh, and then
Brother.
it was electrician.
Because I think part of what made me end up going the route that I ended up going was how, the chemistry, like as I've said, I've been saying how I literally love the chemistry. But I'm willing to say that the chemistry department was not sort of like really, during our year, it was not sort of set out very nicely in terms of like the people who lectured us, I didn't get the passion from the people who were doing it.
Yeah. Because we find out Ocean.
I was like, what's going on? I thought I still want to do this thing, but the people who are teaching me, lecturing me, that's the only person who actually made chemistry fun, I guess.
So it'll be the first course.
Yeah, the ADP thing. The minute to transition back
to mainstream,
I'm like, yeah, I know you guys don't care, the lecturers, but like, come on, like, show a bit of like, enthusiasm, make this interesting, make this nice, make this, more worth doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, third year came a guy called Roger Hunter, and I was like, oh, this is the chemistry I wanted. This is the chemistry I would have loved to have gotten throughout my years. Oh, sorry for that. Can you turn that off? So, but then he only came for like a very like short, like period of time. So I was like, So the guy made me aware of the things I've missed out.
Okay.
In chemistry, he made me aware how much of a crazy or bad run we had by the people who taught us. So I had two options. Either I played to catch up, which is after my third year, somehow I'm gonna find a way to go through that material, understand it, using now this guy's new sort of a perspective, the way he was teaching, because he really liked what he does, and I could see it in the way he was teaching it. But I was like, again, I need to be realistic. Am I willing to go back and learn all the things that was supposed to have been taught to me the right way, or I'm gonna use the fact that I've got a second major, which is ocean, and I was like, nah, I'm not willing to go through that and sort of. I mean, I like chemistry, I do, but I don't think I'm willing to go through that sort of teaching myself that. So what then came as an option while I was doing the oceanography is someone who was teaching me the oceanography. I was like, I actually like this. I like that I think she probably came for like 2 weeks or what. I was like, I like this section. And I was like, I see how I can connect it to my chemistry. Because it was chemistry based. I was like, so I can actually apply my chemistry to something else.
Other than we enter like straight as it came.
Because I think another thing I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do now after, like, let's say maybe I'm gonna go with chemistry. Did I know I wanted to do synthesis? Did I know I wanted to do like, I didn't know. So I was like, there's actually now, I have an idea of where I could actually apply my chemistry. I was like, okay, we we're not leaving chemistry, we're just now using the chemistry I've learned, applying it now to something. And that's how I decided to go with the oceanography.
Full time. Love that.
Like full time oceanography.
So like option yoba after undergrad uhambe uyosebenza ayizange ifike.
Oh no.
Yeah?
No. and I think because this is very important, I think.
Yeah.
Ekhaya, as I was saying, we were all involved in the generation of Imali. Okay. So there was never an expectation ekhaya from about okay, Sive.
Yeah.
Like if they wanted Imali, I'll probably guys okay you know, like if because that's how we're all working in clean, you know. So that's one of the things I appreciate the most from when I look back in from how I grew up when I got here in Cape Town, is that in clean everyone had a role, whereby you were working towards something. So when I went to a school, I was going to sort of like find my own way now, which will help me make money until I am.
And even if it touch 10 years, it's fine.
It's fine. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna go back to Kozamagunyaka.
Love.
You know. And thinking back about it now, it's like one of the best things like my parents literally allowed me to do in terms of like allowing me to pursue what I wanted to pursue. Yeah.
That's nice.
So when you finished the undergrad and then you were like, so what graduated, right?
Yes.
And then you were like, maybe, I don't know, I'm assuming maybe they asked about, okay, where to from here? You were like, no, I'm going back.
So I graduated, and then because also another thing, like, we know when you're doing this type of like degrees, it's like you can't even explain it.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, okay, like if we are, as long as you're doing well, let's put in the pasta. They are like, good, thumbs up.
Do you?
Thumbs up. Do you? Because also there was never this thing about okay, upangela nini, like ekaya though.
Yeah.
There was never that. The only people who did that were Xokashe guys, like.
Ungenaphi. One thing.
It's if ekhaya they're allowing me to do what I do, why must I answer to you? You know. Literally it was a matter of okay, so next. I'm like I think it's like okay.
No, do you, as long as we're happy.
And I was like, let's continue with this. And I think from continuing, I think I had to. I think that pressure came in when I think I was towards the end. I was like, okay, now I need to like figure out what I'm gonna do. I think then there's something which is kind of weird. I did a job shadowing. I asked one of the lecturers, I was like, because I read something whereby you can actually shadow someone to actually find out what they do, what sort of like the daily basis of what it entails to be what they're doing. So I was like, okay, I know Muzila was on teacher, but I want to see like what it's like to actually be like an oceanographer and what you're doing. But an email and send it, and what reply like within the same time. She was like, oh yeah, you can pop in, we can have a meeting, we'll meet. But Dibana and I want what she does, and I was like, oh okay, this is
what you want.
This is interesting enough.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now I know I'm gonna have to apply for honors, and those honors I was gonna do them in oceanography. So I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna do after that, but at least I know about there's this option which is to further my studies because I still enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Also there was a part of me now, obviously, as much as maybe city like really like sort of but there came a time whereby now experience really like taught you a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, it hasn't challenged me.
How cool.
Yeah, in a sort of like, I really want to put my I want to put my all into it.
Yeah.
Like I really like want to put my all into sort of like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to study. And and really pour my, because I think another thing, the undergrad, I don't feel like it tests us on the things we want to be tested on, because you're just writing tests, you're being tested on what you think you need to know. But the minute you go to postgrad, then you get to choose what you want to do and what you want to focus on, and that's where now you get to be tested on that thing that you chose, on that thing that you wanted to do. So now you know, but if they are flopper here, it's because Ndim, who is not putting much effort in understanding and doing the inside. So I wanted something now whereby I'm gonna be like, okay, I wanna put my all into it because I like it and enjoy it. And that's why I think postgrad / the academic sort of journey became like very like interesting for me, was the fact that I wanted that challenge. I wanted a challenge that was based on something that I chose, or something that they are teaching me. Oh yeah, no, you must do it, but no, different ones are there. So teach me, test me on this one. And yeah, I'm still searching for that. I still wanna quench that.
Because I think you sort of touched on a follow-up question, which is the difference between undergrad and the honors. Now, so to go honors, like you focus on Londo Wiketileyo.
So the first semester you get to do like sort of like, obviously again, but like there's sort of like standard things you have to do. But after you complete all those standard things, then you get to choose the one that you like, and then you then get to choose which one you want to focus on, because now you have to do a project. So in that project, if I like math or I like statistics, I'm gonna find a supervisor that can supervise me on a certain aspect, because that's what I want to continue with. And then you're like, okay, I want to work with you. Or sometimes they make it easy because in the department they'll give projects. And then you're like, oh, I want to choose that project. I want to work with you. It becomes easy though if you can also, let's say maybe you like what you're doing and then you interact with the lecturers outside of the lecturing time, and you're like, oh, I like this thing. I actually want to do more of this because I have this background in this. And they can actually make a project for you because we're now so sometimes they don't have to actually like advertise the project, which I think that's what happened to me. I found a supervisor that I wanted to work with. I was like, I want to work with you. I like this, and she was like, okay, we'll find a project and work on that. And I think that's where it all started, because from there on, you get to work on what you actually chose to work on up until
Then without getting into too much details, like your project layer, like
oh, so I literally went to her. I was like, I like chemistry, anything with chemistry. And luckily she had a background in chemistry as well, so she was like, oh, okay, we'll find something. And basically it has to do with understanding substances that are found in the air. So when they say oh, the air in Joburg is dirty, or the air in Cape Town is dirty, there's like something called like a...
Okay guys, we are at breaking Shushu and Sive strike. So I think we can continue, man, from where we left off, of which you were explaining
the project.
The project that you did in your honors.
So I think not the actual project, but I think maybe when it comes to the thing I did in honors. But the example I was trying to use was like when you're watching the weather forecast, if it's very detailed enough, there's usually gonna be a thing where they show you the air quality index. So basically, the more red that thing is, the more dirty the air is. So how they know how dirty the air is, someone has to actually go and run tests, or you need to have like an instrument that is out there actually measuring or monitoring the the stuff that is in the air. But obviously they only just measure like the dust particles. It's not like they are doing like a very like extensive thing. But what I was doing it more extensively. So I was like looking at the stuff that is released from, because I was doing this over the ocean, right? So I was more interested into the stuff that is either coming from the ship.
Okay.
So it's like a diesel. So diesel produces like that black smoke.
Yeah.
So interested. Most of the diesels run using the sulfur fueled diesel. So I was looking at sulfur compounds. And then you also have the actual ocean itself. So when you say you smell the ocean, what you're actually smelling are the stuff that were in the ocean, but then they were now
with steam is some.
Yeah, so we call them aerosols basically. So it's sea aerosols. So it's the salt that was actually.
When they spray.
Yeah, it's a false friend, but yes, it refers to the spray. That's because the actual can, when you spray it actually releases stuff. That thing that it releases to the air is an aerosol, the release. So anything that is like a particle or a gas, it's a aerosol basically.
I have a question for you, sir.
Yeah.
You spoke about weather forecast, right?
Yeah.
And are you in that field currently,
No,
or
I'm
something
not
you
in
came
that.
across?
I'm not in that field, but it's also like a part of like oceanography, but it's more like atmospheric though. So based on what I did, we did oceanography and atmospheric science.
Sure.
So it's not really oceanography. I think it's a different field on its own, but you come across it when you're doing oceanography.
Oh yeah.
Because the ocean and the atmosphere, they don't occur independently. The ocean and the atmosphere are always like interacting with each other. So if you're doing ocean, the ocean affects the air affects the ocean. So you will bump into it somehow.
It was a two-part question actually.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to respond to that, but you're busy with that, yes or no, which I got it, but not exactly, or you're not quite.
That field, yeah.
Right. The second question was just a question of to mess with you. I've seen like on the internet where they say there are theories right out there saying that weather forecast sometimes it is controlled. It doesn't happen by nature. I never took that serious, right? Up until we feels most, and you've said it, but you were interested more with chemistry,
right?
When it comes to field chemistry or science in nature, we know but there are things like cloning, right? Which is ungodly, right? When it comes to humans, but we know by cloning exists, like we food industry, right? They use that, and also there are things that which are quite allowed to happen, but they are just theories, they are just conspiracy theories,
right? Yeah.
But you'd find out, but in other small fields they do okay.
Yeah.
So clearly weather forecast, is it true? But sometimes the weather is controlled. It doesn't happen by nature. Not it doesn't happen by nature. Sorry, but sometimes it doesn't happen by nature. Is it true by what we control or to manipulate it?
I think I'll probably have to ask a follow-up question, like an example, like what have been mentioned in terms of controlling. You don't okay, for example, this thing is control. Because if I were to answer your question, I would probably say no, but then I would need context to actually then address the actual conspiracy. But I would, if I were to give you an answer based on that information, I would say no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say no.
Okay, no problem.
I'd say no. I actually thought of things like Inkanyamba right now, but the way you're going.
Justice.
I actually thought of things like that,
Yeah.
but Yeah.
All I can say now is that kulo mhlaba, the way izinto zama ngakhona, anything is possible. Like inga true okanye ingabikho true, but if it's true, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
By izinto abantu abazizenza,
yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked by true.
Yeah.
But answer is a no for
right.
Because
of course we're not answering in terms of Inkanyamba, guys, but in terms of, I think where I was going is like where there's like a response to an action. I think science doesn't always have answers to everything. I think it's people like us, we are always open to like understanding more what the other science has in store. But yeah.
Okay, see moving on. Like I feel like so move on. See we end of the honors zakho.
Yeah.
And as you know, like move on ngathi izinto ezinormal. Like kwa ufumana degree, it's a big thing. Ufumana degree, it's a big thing, and then when the honors, like till those it's also a big thing.
Yeah.
So, but before singene kuzo ngizafuna pass still uba une window ngoku yoba okay, une option yoba still uye kwi-field.
Yes.
Or still nalapho it was not even an option. Like when you've made up your idea, you made up your mind about no man, you wanna pursue this up until PhD, then you have academia. Like what's going through your mind? Let's say you are finishing up your honors.
A lot of things happened during honors.
Yeah.
That I think they affected how I wanted to look at things, I think. So first of all, I would say, as someone who did BSc, guys, it's not easy to get jobs.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, it depends on which BSc you did, because I know
that's also true.
Because I know people who did computer science. It's very, very good for Bona. But if you're gonna do something like chemistry or bio or physics or math,
at least the maths incorporate data science. At least.
But things like chemistry, physics, it's either you're gunning for like the academic life. So from now, I won't lie. When I was doing my honors, as I was saying, the experiences I had, or rather the things I came across with, actually made me want to stay.
Okay.
Right. So of course I was not sure after honors what Xokashe can do. I was literally a true examples of we will go with the wind.
Sabona.
Because it goes back to what I was saying. By Kaya, there's no pressure for me to there's not that thing. So I had that sort of thing about okay, I can continue if I don't continue and see where things carry me through.
Oh, so the idea is the PhD as a fig.
No, it was not even a thing that I might go to PhD. But I think catalyst that sort of like came in through were like things that I went through. So things like being offered an opportunity to go on a cruise.
Okay.
So I went to Antarctica. So I had a cool supervisor who was like, oh, by the way, so it was when I was about to finish my project.
Okay.
And then she was like, oh, by the way, we've got people who are going down to the Antarctica. So in South Africa, it's a ship, an icebreaker. We call her Miriam Mageba. It's dedicated to her. It's a scientific vessel. So we've got 2 islands in South Africa. It's Marion Island and Go Island. Gaf. I'm not sure, but it's like Gough.
Okay.
So we've got those 2 islands. So the ship goes to those islands to replenish ukutya because they need food, and then it also goes to Antarctica to also because there are people who stay there. who are doing research there. So it needs to also bring food supplies. It needs to give them diesel. It needs to give them basically stuff for them to
keep them going.
And also isabanda bacha ithatha bebepha for like unyaka and we send back. So we have that ship that does that literally every year. Like it's a thing.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, there's a space. Do you wanna go and learn more about what we're doing? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And she was like, but yes, but you have to first finish your project. I was like, okay, sure, deal. And yeah, I didn't finish, like, I mean, I was done, but I think I had to do my presentation. So you have to do a presentation after you've done a project. I did my presentation on the ship.
Okay.
So people on the ship like marked me because it was a part of the project that you need to get a mark and do a presentation. But yeah, I got an opportunity to go to Antarctica, and I think that what literally was a sort of defining moment. I think for
cement,
for where I might be going. yeah.
Like we-Antarctica uyobuka nje okanye there was like into ofuneka uyoyenza, and how was the experience?
Guys, okay, well, it was nice. It was fantastic.
We fully paid by school.
We call
just showing up.
We call the ship a floating hotel. I think last time I checked, I'm not sure. It's just figures, but I think it probably costs maybe like over $1 million a day to keep the ship moving.
Wow. $1 million
because you have to burn fuel. That's one. You have to cook for the people on the ship. There could be over like 100 people on the ship. You have to. The most thing is like the fact that you have fuel that you are literally burning, and it costs a lot. You know, because and also remember a combine, right? So that fuel is responsible for steering the ship. It's responsible for cooking. It's responsible for running the instruments. Literally, you've got showers. You've got even the things you have there. Like it's like we say hotel. Literally, like it's like a floating hotel. So for it to provide that kind of a service, like it uses a lot of money. So from an experience point of view, it really like you are literally like on a hotel, but a floating hotel.
It makes sense that it's worth that much on a single day, because I remember, I think after high school, kwakhona posters, or I think zisekhona ngokuba if you wanna go work with cruise like as a general worker, you work there for 6 months, then you come back maybe with 200k, and then then kwakhona rumors about how you general worker, mhlawumbe a cook or a cleaner or someone who's just giving out services, you don't get paid like on the job. You get everything, like you get a place to sleep, a place to stay, you do everything. Then that's when you get 250k after those 6 months, like something.
I'm actually glad that he raised what he raised to my day, because I never knew like you would like go nights like on a ship. I never knew like okay, there were like people who obviously we have to cook, but like I never knew how, maybe like for instance, how would I go about if I wanted to be a cook, or if I wanted to be a cleaner, or like a steward kind of thing.
Sure.
And that's one of the nice things about that, because now when you live in South Africa, you are no longer a South Africa because you sign out, right? So it means Mali, you are actually not being taxed.
Okay.
So it's you're not being taxed. That's one. But of course, it depends on how long you are away for. I think, because you need to be away for a certain period of time for you to actually not be taxed. I think so. Oh, welcome back. Let's go. I got excited.
And let us cement was shoot for 2 hours.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you need to be away for a certain period of time so that you can actually claim your money there, because you're like, I was not using the government services, so why should I be paying the government the tax? So that's why then it becomes very lucrative, as Monday says, that you're not paying for accommodation, you're not paying for your food. The salary literally goes towards you.
When I straight.
Yeah.
And also the stuff that you get to buy there, they are like tax free. Like they are tax. There's like a certain tax that they, or sometimes they are like not taxed. So you buy things at a cheaper rate.
Nah.
So, but I'm not gonna say what things you buy at a cheaper rate. Yeah.
But still, man, it's okay. Ibe into as a shock. Like you can't just drop a million nje kanjalo. Yabo, but xa we break it down, yabo, inako ukufika, yabo, pha kwezofika zezo.
Yeah.
Alook million iyasothusa thina asiyazi imali le. Asiyazi. Then Antarctica, then wahlala for ixesha kangakanani?
I think close to a month.
Also a month.
Was it 4 weeks? I think about I think like 4 weeks. Went there around October.
Like
so what I was doing now, I was responsible for helping team Yam. So literally, this is science is like you doing your hobbies, but expensive hobbies. I think that's what you have to call it. Like it's a hobby, but it's an expensive hobby. You just so commands, bro. Like, so there's like a system that is built in, basically that like takes water from the ocean and then it sort of like brings it into the ship. Different people collect that water to do different things on that. Some people are looking at viruses, some people are looking at DNA, some people are looking at nutrients.
So you conduct a research basically.
Research basically, yeah. Some people are sending like instruments so that they can like literally monitor things like temperature, salinity, even though, or rather, even now, like we can leave the Shepherd's equipment, they will do the collection for us. We don't have to be there because, again, remember 1 million. It costs a lot to be there. So one of the things you get to go. So you can have people who are doing engineering going to oceans.
Biotin.
Because we need robots, right?
Oh.
Yeah, we need instruments. So.
I feel like kule ship yenu nawudinga almost zonke experiences. Because I'm sure bakhona nabantu abasakwa health. Abakhona.
We have a doctor.
Yeah.
We need to have a doctor on
board. Because community nje yonke le.
So like, zonke parts of the community. Away from it, literally.
Oh, okay.
So you basically collect water samples. So you can, as I've mentioned, all the things you can do. But what we were also doing, Tina, we were measuring in nutrients. So believe it or not, the ocean is the one major source that produces the oxygen. More than any trees. So that's because you've got those small organisms called phytoplanktons.
Yeah.
They're the one responsible for doing the carbon fixation. So that's why when he was talking about the weather, I don't want to be deep, but when he was talking about weather controlling, there are like ideas whereby like we could like fertilize the ocean and then we can make it like do more work because we know what things it needs for it to draw more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere so that we know how now things we talk about global warming and stuff like that. So there are like ideas that we could do some engineering, right? So for my side is like someone's doing aerosols. If you can give the atmosphere like the thing it needs for your number to either form clouds or to either form the rain. So like you kind of then so like when you actually understand the process of how clouds are formed, how actually what rain is, so you can sort of give it the ingredients. But I mean we haven't gotten there, but there are those things that we probably could try and maybe sort of like try to combat or maybe like try to help the planet so that it can not get messed up. But I don't know how extreme those are, but yeah, so part of what we're then doing when you say like we're doing these experiments, we're doing these measurements, is because we understand how these things sort of like work at a very like small scale, like how does it work, so that if we were to like try and help the planet, because I mean at the end of the day the planet will do what it needs to do to like balance things out. You know, we say that, okay, yeah, global warming is going to get too hot. The people who are going to suffer city most in the next generation, right? So it can do what it needs to do. Is wipe it out. Shake it off fractionity. So, for instance, what you say, what happened when it was COVID? Literally, the world became so clean, right? Because there was no. You see, it was very clean. So now it means now you're producing less stuff. You're making less, sort of like. So, but of course. Yeah.
I see.
I could talk more on that.
Then
that's the field I'm in.
So touch into a master's.
My master's.
Yeah, cause I think iphathi yakho seyivela ngokuba like we are academia now. Cause as busitsho now, there's no pressure like from endlini uba you can go uyophangela now, and like une free flow nje mnandi, like une course yakho oyithandayo uyayipasa, and une trips like Antarctica for a month, uye kwi floating hotel yakho uba i-floating hotel. Like who would give up Londo ahambe ayophangela yabo, and you have basari nakhona yabo ikhabarisha zonke into zakho. Okay, then ku-masters waregisterisha masters, then zinto into interesting like oqonda uba okay the highlights of
having done. I think masters is so when you do honors you do like 6 months. Masters you do that for like 2 years.
Okay.
So now you are trying to become a master of the field that you are in.
Okay.
Master would be so.
Master.
So you're trying to become a master in sort of like the field that you are in.
Okay.
So like if let's say maybe so I was doing aerosols and pH. So if you were to ask me about that specific thing, I could like tell you, okay, why this thing and like, why is it important? How does it affect his window? How can we try and use this to maybe solve the problem, right? So for instance, we know things about acid rain, like why, like for instance, if you've got a statue and then if you've got too much, if you're producing too much pollution, so let's say you're burning stuff,
like
producing this sulfur from burning things, that stuff doesn't just disappear. Of course, but it literally goes up. It can react with, obviously, there's water in the atmosphere, and it can form, an acidic medium or acidic like thing. So when that drains down, it could it makes into a funnel like it's diacu that are made of like calcium carbonate and stuff. And also it's bad also for like people who might be like drinking amounts that are not treated and stuff like that. Obviously it does not happen as much as Latin because there's not too much industrialization, right?
Okay.
So it's not much of a problem. But obviously when you go to like industrialized places,
by a problem pollution.
Amanzi ayadrilwa, you don't just drink amanzi from emgqomeni. Like as in like umpanda or a tank. You're drinking like water that comes from the tap, so it's treated for all these like contaminants and stuff. But yeah, so stuff like acid rain, so you kind of learn why that thing is important, why it affects things, how do we make amanzi clean, or how do we make the air that you breathe clean, and also it may be like toxic. Like most people who live in areas that are actually dirty, people who have asthma, they actually suffer from like a
clean environment.
A dirty environment. So we try to understand how we can. So there have to be people who are gonna sort of like monitor how dirty the air is and sort of like help the government make like policies that can actually tell companies like Abu Sasol or Eskom guys, you guys are producing too much. Please install things as Ngenza, you waste you and be more friendly and stuff like that. So that's what we sort of like do. We become the people who do those testings, sort of like understand, okay, this is what they can do, this is what we can do.
kube lapho ngoku i-science ikhlasha khona with the business.
Yeah.
Uzifumanisa uba abantu be-business bona they are more focused on the profit.
Generation of profit, yeah.
And then when are you coming here telling us uba now we are ruining environment and yonke loo nto leyo. Yeah, it's esinye nje struggle leso.
Actually,
yeah, because almost zonke ezi aspects ze-science ziyayifeyisa loo nto leyo. Like when i-science iclasha ne-business, when it comes to environment, by problem.
Yeah,
problem enkulu.
Very big one.
Then okay, you mentioned Antarctica. Then ikhona ezinye trips uke wazithatha like during your masters?
Yeah. To the other trips, so I mean they are almost like they are all not always the ones that I went to. They always relate with me going to the ship, the South African ship.
Okay.
Oh, just to mention something, by the way, there was something, I don't know if it was new or it's like something new. They were actually looking for people from the public who could actually like go to the ship and be volunteers. So you would literally like apply and then you would go as like a citizen. What's the word? But like a normal person from the public to apply and then you will see and then you get to see like what we do as scientists, and everything was taken care for and like you didn't have to pay anything. You were just being a volunteer, so you were gonna help. So they were doing something like that, which I think is actually quite cool. To actually to actually educate about what we are doing.
Must send the applications, hello.
Yeah.
Must send the applications.
There's actually a way you can actually see what's happening in these things that we do.
No.
But yeah, to talk about more trips, there were more trips. The recent one was last year.
Yeah.
That was March, right? Around this time. Yeah, exactly around this time. I went to Antarctica again. But of course I had to first obviously fly to other countries to actually get to Chile, because this one was not with the South African ship, it was with the Spanish ship.
Okay.
So yeah guys, I was on a Spanish ship.
From
everyone speaks Spanish. But well the scientists they knew Spanish and English.
Okay.
But the crew and everyone else, they knew Spanish. And one of the things I had to do there, I had to like communicate with the people who are literally like up on the actual ship.
Okay.
So I had to find Indian Paya and then the new again and go outside, because my thing was I had to be on the top deck where I can put my instrument and I can sample the air.
Yeah.
So that if listen Kambi, the exhaust your ship is blowing air towards my instrument, as I'm telling about Sive, they all send like an intercom like Sive, Voka or something like that. So I had to literally like be always like either in the Paya or like on the ship, on the where they control, I forgot the name of the place where they control the ship. So it was it's really nice cruise. You get to learn different cultures. I met amazing people there. You get to even learn
Spanish
stuff. It's really nice. And other trips I went to the UK. Okay, that one was for like a conference. I did a poster and like I won a poster during COVID. Hey guys, COVID. We had to do posters and presentations like online, right? So I did this poster and I kind of presented online, and then they were choosing people who did good posters. So they split it like, okay, we've got people from America, we've got people from Europe, we've got people from Africa, we've got people from So I was one of the people who won in the
African region.
Yeah. So they paid all my expenses to go to a conference. Guys, they flew me business class. Like my first flight and my first like flight experience was literally flying business class. Because I remember I got my visa like 2 days after I got a program which I was supposed to go to. But so I got my visa. That I sent an email that book me the ticket. yeah, I literally packed, sorted everything in 24 hours, guys. I was like, there's no way I'm not going. Like, yeah, I don't care. So to make the process quite fast and also like comfortable, they were like, that was the constable spoke me like business class. I was like, why not? Flew business class, and yeah, that was it was very nice. It was very nice.
Apply with visa ndiyamazi pain because ndiyakhumbula indlela upenika ngayo uba i-conference izawuphela and so forth,
and I'm still here.
Yeah,
I know.
And wanceda wade wayifumana futhi because sabuza kuwe thina. Sabuza kuwe thina when it came to London. Because nakuthi bizaba i-problem to get i-visa.
Into visa stuff. I know.
But then ubuzothetha kungathi khona into ufuna uyithetha.
No, I don't know. I was gonna say the field, if you navigate it well, and also you've got very, very good people
Around
who are willing to like groom you and willing to support you, it could be actually a very nice place to be. That is to say, your oceanography form, Nage. Yeah.
Then, so, masters was last year.
Yeah, finished.
Like ugqiba kwakho.
Finished that last year.
And
yeah.
Ke ngoku okay. Last year masters, then xa ugqiba zona ke ngoku still wenza ntoni? The pressure from home ayikabikho most probably uyophangela. So I guess
Nope.
it's PhD.
Yeah, because I was saying I was like still looking for the challenge there. So I still want to quench that challenge. Because all of this, as you can tell, is like I was just having fun, bro. Like I'm just, it's like I'm just going on trips. You doing all this nice stuff. You see culture, you experience culture, and I was like, I still wanna do more of this. I wanna see where can this take me. So I was like, let's do PhD. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, ayikho indlela mos.
And I think that's where I'm currently heading to now in terms of where I'm at currently. There was one friend of mine who was like, please, whatever you do, don't do PhD in South Africa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fam, I was like, what do you mean? I was like, no. Why? Why are you looking down on yourself? Like, clever, like, if you are gonna apply, don't do what I did. You can do more. Like, you can do more.
So when is that the potential yakho basically?
Literally, I was like, oh shit, damn. Because I never like thought of like, okay, I could actually go apply somewhere else. Because that's another thing. Like, you're like, so apply pins, apply njani, so Zandoni. Like, how do I get the opportunities and stuff like that? Like, you're eager as well, but you're imagining and all of those things.
Yeah.
I was like, let's just chill. But then when I came back from that trip, the other one, last year. So I was at Chile now. So Chile is like 5 hours behind South Africa. So when I came back, for the first week I was jet lagged. So trying to 10, let's say maybe 10 up. My body is like still like 5 hours behind. So like go better like 2 no 3 like excuse me, this actually like I don't see it because my body is like I was like also because like you were still up moving all that time. And the lang all that trying to go 10 sometimes and you like oh shit. So I had to like adjust to that. So one time I would tweet and I was like, okay, let's look for stuff, let's look for PhDs, I was just searching because I knew from back from my research group, the one I was in, that if I want to continue with what I'm doing, in NASA space, my supervisor was like, yeah, we can find a project for you. But I was like, okay, let me challenge myself. I jumped Twitter and I saw a project. I was like, okay, must apply. What do I stand to lose?
Yeah.
Da apply, da send an email go to XM. Waphendula lam 30 minutes late. I was like, what? I was like, how? Why do I want to be go to XM?
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, but then I say Australia.
Yeah.
So they are like 9 hours ahead of me. So if it was 2 for me, so that means 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It was around 11 for one.
Yeah.
Hence why they were able to respond after 30 minutes. That's it, we responded along. What my 30 meetings, seated. I was like, what? But okay, right now for when so we can either do this the following day or because the due date is like next week. I think I done an email like Golosine and the due date will be like Tuesday, closing date for apply.
Didn't it feel like a scam, Londole?
Bruh? I was like, whoa, this is moving way too fast. Okay, I have Ulashan, then the weekend, and Umful. I have to search about the project because I just saw a project.
Yeah.
Now I have to search about the project. I need to know and prove to this person that I know
a lot
about the project. But luckily, it was connected to London Denzai.
Okay.
Which I was doing for my honors and masters. So I was like, okay. Instead of us rather did you go through the
content,
the stuff, the search about this thing. But okay, fine, let's send a list that you can write and stuff. I was like, oh, and goes.
Okay.
I was okay.
Yeah.
So the phone and then Satibana. So you had to get permission from the supervisor for you to apply.
Okay.
Yani ke sa phone one okay. When we had the meeting, okay, cool. I was like interested. I wanna do this. I was part of this cruise. What I did this and this.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, I see vehicle and stuff. Oh no, he didn't see the CV, but I was just telling him about the experience. But yeah, so yeah, you can apply. I'll send you thing. I'll sign your documents by signer, by sender, and then now after sending it for the deadline, now we're gonna do a proposal. So then I could read the papers now and then formulate a proposal, which I'll then later send to a university.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're talk. I had to do the proposal. No, I had to do the proposal as well. Damn. So he gave me previous proposal and stuff and everything. He was like, okay, here are the things. Look at this too. Literally, that guy was like, maybe it was because of the track record I had in terms of like the previous experience. But okay, here are the things. Do X, Y, and Z. And send us a formulator. Say the proposal, and send the documents. And I guess the rest is history. The rest was history because then obviously I got invited for interviews.
Yeah.
I did those interviews.
So how to apply
Well,
yeah, basically because
it is now because when I look into this whole entire thing of when it goes to like postgrad and PhDs, you're doing page 2 to study basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If I had to disclose for my masters, I was getting like 170k
for a year.
For a year.
Which is means Londole.
Now when COVID struck, then Shalikaya. I'm Badal Red. I'm Badal Kuja. So I was able then now to resume your role when I went back home in my own way.
Because like
yeah.
Le 170 ngonyaka amounted to more like ofumana 15k ngenyanga. Or 7 ininzi lo mali.
Yeah. So
to around lo mali and then wena
I only have to pay fees which is like 30k. Because the fees actually
then
go
share,
down when you go up. Yeah, so yeah, it's actually like a profession where you actually like you working like in those other countries they actually call it that like it's viewed as like excellence. Because some other people actually they have to like lecture, like prepare materials and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So yes, basically siyafunda guys.
Siyasebenza.
Just because we born and this, there, I'm actually like being paid to do the research and stuff. Of course, it goes better, just not to make it all seem nice and glory, but there are other professions where there's not enough money.
Oh yeah, co-funding.
There's not enough funding.
Yeah.
But someone wants to do what they want to do, so
that's true.
It's not as
easy,
and it's not as interesting. But now I was lucky enough that I got a supervisor that was very active in the field that they were in, and they were actually like doing writing proposals, and then they were getting money.
Yeah.
And I was also writing and applying for bursaries, which I got. So you're getting a bursary, but also they're also topping you up. So it becomes then
that's true.
Very nice. Because I know for some other people, some people will struggle. Even where we, in the space I'm in, we have other peers who are like, guys, like we're struggling to like pay bills or even like afford this because they don't have good supervisors. But that's us just getting deep now. Because I know for anyone who's like in the field who might watch this, yes, there are those like caveats where it's not like very nice for other people. But when you get someone, again, as I was saying, someone who's looking up and willing to like back you up and sort of, it can be very lucrative. And so
no, just nje khona le nto uthethileyo about le friend yakho that you didn't disclose, like ekubonise i-potential that.
Yeah, I was sleeping on myself, fam.
Ewe yile nto izama ukuba thina apha isimola kumzekelo kwase high school yabo uapply e-UCT ibingeyona nto uqonda uba uzawungena yabo uapply nje for the sake of uapply so
that's literally what I did. I was going in bush.
Exactly. Then ke ngoku uye ke ngoku i-UCT uyibone as a ceiling, like uqonda uba okay ndise UCT, I've made it in life.
Where else can I go?
Exactly. And then
universities in Africa,
if you have abanye abantu from outside neabakujongileyo abaxela ba no man good at 1 2 3, why ungabreak the ceiling and go for more yabo. And shout out to law friend
shout out to Belinda. Shout out to Bells.
Shout out to yena nyani because ngoku we was really young. We're Australia and we are in
somewhere in the coming months.
So then it's some sort of a farewell episode here because say figure the
days
exactly.
I'm gonna be like promotion. But yeah, it's final. The Australian people gave me a visa. It was so stressful.
Oh, Canada.
Because really, because I got the scholarship and everything. So yeah, because the thing was the scholarship that I saw on Twitter. Applied, go through some. Oh, actually, as that player 2023, beginning around March. But and that time was because, so I made it to the top 3.
Okay.
But then the government was like, no, we're gonna only fund 2 people. So then that cut her off. But that guy was like, no, we're gonna put you in for the next round of funding.
Oh.
So I had to wait for like an entire year. But it paid off, of course. So, because I think my interview was so good that I didn't have to do another interview. They were like, we're just gonna send your things through.
Yeah.
And then I sent my master's work, marks and stuff. And then they were like, okay, yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Love that.
Then, because before she close it off now, let's keep Skapavani say to us.
Yeah.
As most call a group, a gang.
Yeah, right.
So I asked you guys to ask the questions. So I think it's my last segment.
Crazy. Okay.
So I have questions from I have questions as because they were confused Baba who's doing because and that's why.
Okay.
So I have Kandi, Spokas, tablet,
Uh-huh.
under kunye no tags.
Yeah.
Now so ngabo ababuze questions.
This should be interesting.
Yeah. But like as ko ninzi kakhulu.
Okay, see.
Khawuleti phone yam then kujonga bakhona abanye abasendile. Now then we can look them
So
through.
answering some questions.
Yeah.
This is a surprise, guys. This was not planned. So, but anyway.
So I'll start with Xokashe.
Okay.
So Kandi, uyabuza like how do you remember ibirthday zethu? From eskela. No, like eating le yabo. Usive. And that's how nam yabo, because I would like to know now from esikolweni you are the one person also announcer to a group but no man ibirthday ekabani le either
That's
to
nice.
a group le to and then we do like low mini what ithile. Yeah, so yeah. Wenza njani ngaba une calendar ubhala khona?
Notifications. Am I lying?
I'm gonna pick
I'm
on
not
Facebook.
big on Facebook.
Okay.
No, man. I think it goes back to. I think I'm big on trying to create a culture that I would like to see. If it's not there.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. I think I take friendship very. I'm big on friendship.
Yeah.
So one of the things was that if there's no one who's doing it, I can be the change.
Yes.
And I
that's
mean,
true.
it's not even that. It's not hard to remember. You can either put it on your calendar, but I just remember them because we've all been through like varsity life. So
Yeah.
like I can just recall birthdays even now, so I don't have to actually like
So I think
get a reminder. I just know them. Oh yeah.
to answer
May,
Kandi,
October or whatever.
makaqale ngecalendar.
Yeah, he should start with calendar first and then
izawubetheleleka.
izawubetheleleka kuye, but yeah, I think for me to answer Ukland, it's all about wanting to create a community. So if that community does not exist, you be the change
No.
to create that.
Okay.
New.
Then
Also, no, so just to like add clearly to what I'm saying, like I like that and I love friendship now. And like if you like people, you just make easy into that.
Yeah.
Like in the book, like memories, creating memories with them. Yeah, because I believe with a group here, you guys are not like, I'm not gonna say close, but like Nitesa.
Yeah,
like after the
literally
Nitesa,
geography.
like you're spread around.
Literally.
But you guys
Somehow
create a
in front of
group.
me,
And then you guys mutually happy birthday. Even like you guys niyatanda awkward
Yeah.
about the birthday. Hayibo.
Yeah. I think that's
Hayibo. Ubasuvuyo about the birthday. You literally have to force him, yabo.
yeah.
yeah.
The fact that you're that friend, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Like it's
we
very
actually
important.
have
It's
to-
nice. Cause of manana shoba, hayibo usive
Remember.
remembers my birthday. You're like, even you're a guy, you're a tough guy, but you're like, it's man, it's a good feeling.
I need my flowers.
Like, just give him.
I need
like,
my flowers.
honestly,
Even
he
from the
deserves
group.
the flowers.
Even
Like,
So sfilela that.
oh wow, okay.
So sfilela. But yeah, man. Even though like Claysense go like man, indona ngoku like kugcwala memes pa egroupini from when anokhandi I'm like hayi bo kaniyekeni man.
We are big. We are
Yeah.
big.
But ezixesha lihamba yabo umuntu uye azikhumbule ezazinto eziya and we appreciate yabo.
Aware.
Then mandiye kwelandelayo.
Shout out. Shout out for bringing this up.
Olandelayo utablet usihle uthi ufuna understand how you stayed at home during your masters. Like how did you manage to finish your masters uhlala
Hlala ekhaya.
ekas like uba no travelisha back and forth
One.
instead of uhlale eres okanye.
Ndadikwa ukuhlala rest because it's like ngihlala nabantwana.
Hayi
People
bo.
who don't want to grow up. Yes, I'm bringing shade now. You know those things. You know those voice recordings for TikTok whereby people babi nyama zabantu and stuff.
Yes.
That thing is a thing, people. That I was like, there's no way so clean is khama zabantu. Like Dala. You know, I was like,
But private accommodation at least,
yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm getting out of rest systems like accommodation. But then COVID strike. When I was about to try and find accommodation, I was like, okay,
yeah,
we're gonna be locked down anyway. And then I realized actually it's not bad to It's not as bad as we painted it to be. So then I had to find a system that works, that can actually make me work in one city. So when the COVID got lifted up, I would just like travel. I would just be like, okay, so I would take, again, it goes back to this thing of like, you see this like as a job.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to work. You just travel back and forth.
People are doing it every day.
Yeah, and then you find ways to like entertain yourself. I had like a taxi chronicle thing.
We are
stories about those things. And you were like, yeah, I like doing this. Because I could have stayed in like Endlin, because you can do the work remotely. You just have to meet supervisor work like once or twice a week.
Yeah. Because as taxi chronicles love, because like usuka from at the out to Mosuyapa, even like 45 minutes, 30 minutes. It takes
yellow line. So it's like 30 minutes. But if it's like too congested, it could like maybe there's something in the
like 45 hours.
But
and the glow experience it takes in like kuba commons ezo momish ezenzekayo and then ube neza taxi chronicles zakho sifaka kwi status wenzele noko at least journey yakho ingabikho as
boring, you know. You find ways to. I think that was the idea. Like I had to find a way to make the whole experience like worthwhile in terms of like, damn, my name is saying, oh, okay, but well, there are things I can do on the side and stuff like that. So there was the fact that I could travel, but also shout out to my family. I've got a good family fam.
Support structure is
is there. I feel like I was taken care of.
Yeah.
I think that's the best word I would use, because I think when I was during my matric in high school, I think I was a shop doing the work, but when I came back home, it was more like, okay, my brothers now were grown up. My dad, because baby Bang was I've got two brothers. Shout out to them. So baby Bang, I was taking care of them when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Now that I'm now they're the one who are responsible for doing things in clean. So it was just again, it goes back to this thing of me saying everyone in clean, we are sort of like we're a company.
It's straight.
We found ways to help each other out.
Okay. Moving on from what question at tablet, I think we have 3 more abantu. Yeah. So it's not like under uyamazi unale question yakiyi-1 so leyibuze ebantwini uba why ucinga uyarock if uyayazi la phrase yakhe eyomrocko yabo. Yeah, so uba singayirephrase sithini andiyazi, but andiyabuza uba why ucinga uyarock.
I guess that answers it. Like Nswembu Anna. Nswembu dog, like you are surrounded by abantu abanswembu who I think are humble.
Yeah.
But now they just realize that, oh damn, actually we're actually good than we think.
We're not that bad.
We might as well, dress up on the whatever we're being showered with. Yeah. Nswembu Anna.
Then Siego's got Spokas. Yeah, Spokas ubuze 2.
Money.
Ubuze 2 demand.
Money.
So yokuqala what do people misunderstand you the most on? Yeah, what is it that you feel like we misunderstand you the most on?
Oh, that's a tough one, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's being deep.
It's a tough one, hectic.
Yeah. I've gone by say no man, abangati man, but still ubayek.
This question.
What do you mean by this question?
I think I've strived like to create, like I'm always big up on like trying to create communities. Like I think one of the things I've been like sometimes like when I think about it, like I'm why Like, why don't they want to create like a space whereby we can.
Yeah.
Like, why can't they see it?
Okay.
So, from a point of misunderstanding, it's like a misunderstanding that is not communicated by Nina. But it's a misunderstanding that I interpret it as a misunderstanding. I interpret it as a misunderstanding because I see that like, why are they not?
Are they not?
Why are they not? Like, why?
And of mine say ixesha likhona.
You know,
like liba khona ixesha
like,
ixesha.
It's not that deep. It's not that hard. Like, you could literally make time if you wanted to make time. I think that would be the only sort of like misunderstanding from a point of how I would interpret it, because I don't think there's like any sort of like misunderstanding that you guys have sort of mentioned. But
so are you saying the misunderstanding that they have is you and trying to create a community with them? They don't get it. Or they don't get you.
They are not with it. Yeah, like they don't reciprocate.
Yo, I get
like,
that.
I don't.
In my defense, I always say can't get dated then house. Now, but then you ngabantu abaninzi ke ngoku manje bana ongekho available ngapha then ke.
And I actually want to put him on the spot. I want to put him on the spot. Yeah. We did a poll on the WhatsApp group, and I'm hoping, okay, this is to the public, but then we did a WhatsApp poll. I hope, based on the poll, we're supposed to meet next week Friday.
Yeah.
So next week Friday, I'm gonna respond to those people. Like, okay, guys, based on the results, it means we're meeting on Friday.
No problem.
Yeah, we know you.
Nah. When you date, then I show up. No problem.
But of course, I mean, this is also to say, I mean, we're not bashing. We know people have,
it's new commitments
and stuff. But yeah, man, it's a thing where I'm like, guys, like,
nah, I hear you.
Can you work it towards? Like, don't you guys desire things? Don't you guys want to have in communities or things where you can actually like good TED, like people get surprised when people are like, themselves. We're not talking. We don't know your problems. You don't know what's going on with you. Like, how are you gonna know if you don't talk?
I get that.
But anyway, we digress.
Okay. So, last question from Spogas. What's the weirdest thing you experienced in another country? Whereby you feel like, okay, Lena, it's new and
cultural shock.
Yeah, whatever.
I love experiences. I haven't found anything weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
No ways.
I haven't. I really liked. So in the UK, okay, the only I wouldn't say it's a culture shock. It's probably like a financial shock. When you have to travel, you have to pay a lot of money. You have to convert. So not convert. I know what you mean. I shouldn't convert. Like I'm paying all of that in rent. It's not like I've got money to spend. Outside of that, I'm big on traveling, guys, and every places I've been, I've like, yes, interesting, love it, great. I haven't picked up any weird thing.
Just to spin the question,
nice things rather.
So about like, what's the most fascinating thing you experienced in another country?
It's how they express their feelings.
Okay.
That's why I'm so big on language. I'm learning French. Like, je peux parler français. So it's how is new language.
No, I was to skip a class French. What tried go at take his
Yeah.
Counted something in French and then we translate it in.
So if I say like je peux parler français, it just means I can speak French. Je peux parler français. So I just learned it because I was like, in the department we've got a lot of French people.
Okay.
From Africa, the guys who were colonized, the countries that were colonized by French people. We have a lot of them. So I was like, if I wanna like communicate with these people, I wanna form you wanna know people. So I'm trying to learn their language. So I tried to learn French. So one thing I've picked up was how other people
Express themselves.
express themselves. French is that's why it's like it's such a big language when it comes to like romance. I think the way they say things, it's like it's in the way they say things. It's in the words. The words carry emotions. That's what I realized from the language. It carries emotions to a point. Sometimes I can even. There was a tweet that was saying, I think there was someone who was doing something on TikTok. They were like, "Oh, so do you dream in?" Bro, I dream in French sometimes. Like, I'm telling you, because it's like it's your brain trying to find ways to express things that are not easy to express in the language or that you're doing. So yeah, like it's how it's how as I would say the romance language is how they're able to like put emotion into the words. That's why also when I was on the ship, the people I met there, I'm like, damn.
But it's Zulu njena siyazama nje. Bayazithanda oDiane.
But
It's Zulu xa sithetha yabencoma. But yeah. To continue,
Continue.
Last question from X. So ubuza, what is your why and what keeps you going? Yeah, ufuna I think akigia okanye ikhagia yonke loo nto leyo, like what's your purpose, like what's your why?
I don't want to take it like too far, but like where I'm currently at now. So I wanna, let's say for example, using the PhD that I'm doing right now, I wanna use the PhD to explore life, explore things I wanna do, things I wanna see. I don't want to wait until I finish the degree for me to pursue the things I wanna pursue. I wanna use the degree and do the things I wanna do while I'm doing the degree. And the degree is allowing me to go overseas, explore cultures, explore things, fascinate my brain, confuse my brain, whatever. I want to pursue the things I want to pursue while I'm doing what I'm currently doing. I don't want to wait
till
didn't afika. No, I need to work towards the things I want to do, the things I want to like manifest. Like I need to work towards the things I want to manifest. Ngoku. So if I want to do that, I need to find a vehicle over which I can do those, and that's what doing PhD for me is allowing me to do. It allows me to pursue the things that I would want to pursue, and I think traveling is one of them. Just to learn things, the culture. So I don't want to wait. I want to do it now. So how do I do that? Find something that's gonna make you travel.
So it's like 2 birds, 1 stone. Love it. Love. So you're gonna get your PhD, and you're gonna get to travel the world, explore.
I get ideas. I'm like, I learn. The experience changes me. Because then another thing is I'm okay with saying, hey, I don't know what I want to do.
Yes.
And I'm okay with having experience make me explore new things that I would want to do. No one says, oh, you once had an idea that, in front of my land. Now,
what happened?
So that I'm willing to change. I'm willing to experience new things. And being able to be in a spot where you say, whatever experience throws to me, if there's something interesting that I can learn or experience, I am not married to an idea that I once had when I was a child. I'm not married to an idea I had when I was 22. I'm not married to an idea I have now. If something happens that makes me say, I want to look at things differently, I'm allowing my future self to be able to say, you never prevented me from experiencing this. I'm not
Like
blocking
that.
my doors. Yeah,
That's true.
Like you're saying, it's okay
to not know.
To not know, and it's okay if you decide to change in the next 5 years.
Yep.
Ingabi into yobana hayibo Sive angajonga uba i-oceans iwe zakho xa so busy Lord knows what. Hey, ingathi nijikelela ocean yakhe, it shouldn't be that. You change constantly.
Yes.
And you go with the flow.
And literally the only thing that is constant in life is change.
Period.
Yeah. Just keep up with that.
Love that.
And whether I turn or not, it change will
That's
happen.
always happen.
Yeah,
Yes,
it will happen.
inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think
That's
we can
really
end it
cool.
off with like question the X, because I think it summarizes the young journey. You're just adapting to whatever is I go, and if interests are they change, now you just go with that.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe uhlale kulondo leyo one of which you no longer enjoy now, and ikubhene too much.
Yeah.
Yabo. Then the lento yakho leyo of saying you wanna do into oyithandayo now and not wait.
Yep.
Because what will happen is, if let's say ubuna le mentality yoba no, you'll travel the world or do 1, 2, 3 after your PhD, then after your PhD there will be any challenge, there will be any obstacle.
Or even
Man's
you
like,
find the obstacle while you're doing the PhD, you know, and it's like, let's say maybe I don't even get the PhD, which I'm totally fine and okay with, but obviously we have to get it.
Yeah.
But now, you see now the nice thing about that is that I didn't wait until I finished the PhD to pursue things.
Yeah.
I lived life while I'm pursuing the PhD. I'm trying to pursue
Exactly.
other things.
That's beautiful.
So even if the PhD doesn't work out, I got an experience out of that.
Yeah. Okay, just to end things off, to next week was on Friday. Yeah, to the guys in the city, bawubeke excuse abazuza, like try and make a plan, man. Squeeze it in, because I think it's about some sort of a farewell what
Yeah, I guess.
before uhambe uye kule Australia yakho. And yeah, man, I think we can end it off kanje. Uhambe ka grand, man, like kungalahleki.
Yeah.
Ungalahleki yabo, and enjoy Australia and make money food. Ungalibali wenza imali.
Bro, we need that Australian dollar, son.
Manela,
Please.
listen.
Send.
Manela, you know, fam, we.
Yeah, but more than anything, man,
Experiences.
enjoy and yeah, man.
Yeah.
So bonana, okay,
Yeah,
what day?
before Govad, I can't keep quiet. So, I have this thing. I'm a good listener, right?
Yeah.
Because I grew up as a troublesome boy, right? With my
I remember
own
the episode.
with my own mind, right? Because as we grow up, sir, to be fair, we get to destroy or we get to make ourselves, right? I'm sitting here listening to you talking about these things.
Yeah.
While I'm sitting here, the next great thing is coming. While I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you, the next great thing is coming. While I'm sitting here, the next great thing is coming. So it's some sort of like okay, it's Australia, Antarctica, your schooling, your home, and everything. Everything is just okay with you. And sir, to be fair, I just met you, right? And the energy you bring in a room, like it's so huge, my man. And in fact, it bothers me to a point where, you know, as you get to look, look at life from your own, and then you get to perceive how they go about things, right? We might be people about different.
Right.
We are attached to different things, but life you know, if someone does indo, then who are you to not do it, right?
Yeah.
Not in a format of jealousy, but in a format
Not in
of
an arrogant way.
Motivation.
as in sort of motivation, man.
True.
You are at your age, you started where you started, and now look where you are now. And I like that you have multiple backgrounds. You have Eastern Cape background, you have Xokashe background, as well as you have the
Intelligent.
background that you have now,
Yeah.
right? That is all mixed up with what you have now. So I feel sorry for abantu abasebenza nawe. I feel sorry for people that are close to you, not in a bad way, but abayaz about what they can expect from you, man. Because when you bring out your utmost best, right? And I like the philosophy about like life keeps on changing.
Yeah.
But when you're not gonna be held back by, let's say you lose a leg now,
Yeah.
or maybe a wheelchair,
Yeah.
right?
Things we think about.
Yeah, but like in easy those that are just flowing,
Mm.
that are my and not tell us zone that when you just keep on moving forward.
Yeah, man. That's
I once told my friend this thing about he's a regular worker now. He never got like so well when it came to the academics.
Yeah.
Just after matric, he went back to work.
Yeah.
So I'm posing the question that my friend, what if you are meant to work your whole entire life? Ungathi? Then obviously he felt sad. Obviously he didn't like that idea, right? Because he pictured himself like ethile in life. Obviously we all do that, right?
Yeah, true.
For ourselves.
True.
So the question that I asked him got triggered by the philosophy that you just brought up. Whatever you want, whatever you wanna do, whatever you wanna achieve. It's now.
Yeah.
Right? But namhlanje, what you gonna do for yourself today, which means you have to prepare yourself, or can you prepare yourself for something else or for something ongayaziyo. But just enjoy it. I know we live under a system where enjoyment, the activities which I don't want to mention.
Yeah,
but to be fair, discipline, you have it and you're still learning through discipline. And I mean, all the best from my side.
Those were very nice words. It's nice to hear. Someone who even you just met and they're able to just tell so much, which is all true, by the way.
It's nice, man.
It's great.
So thanks for the support.
Am I not supposed to farewell him?
Jump in.
Oh gosh, lady.
I will.
Chances are ndiyamgqibelisa uSive nam namhlanje. So it was a beautiful episode. Love your spirit.
Thank you.
Love your spirit, and love your mentality as well. The fact that you're not a robot. I love that. You're just experiencing life, going with your heart. Love that.
Experience. Experience.
And a lot of people cannot relate to that. But using your academics to explore the world. You are literally winning. You are winning. You are the winner. So all the best. Australia, bring that money.
And Kusini boys.
Bring that money. Enjoy. Explore. Take a lot of content.
I look forward.
We did say
off screen.
Offline. So all the best. All the best.
And we'll see. Obviously, to sort of make this like a thing, but I have to. My next episode, I have to divide this Australia.
Oh
Part 2. So look out for part 2.
I think the first online episode is our now.
Yeah.
After Lonyanga or 2 or 3 aside,
Tell us,
I come back.
No man, thanks to everyone, or subscriber, or share, and we'll see you in next episode, man.
Comment and we'll respond to your comments and we see your comments.
Appreciate.
I'm a guest today, but also I'm part of the production team. Thank you for always choosing us as your vehicle to bring you this type of content, and we hope to see you on the next episode. And until then, take care.
Cheers.